boy, oh boy. Tell you what. Hello, everybody. Oh man, what a day it was. I had to run out and do some errands, and just to point it out to you guys, like the town I live in, there is no chance that you all have worse drivers than what is in my town. It is actually unbelievable, and it's dangerous the way these freaking people drive in this town. I live 7 minutes away from the grocery store that I decided to go to because I don't go to Walmart ever. So 7 minutes away. It took me, I think it was 22 minutes to get there because it's raining pretty decent. But people are like, oh no, there's rain on the road, so we have to drive like 15 miles an hour in 45 zones. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. No one's making you do that. And then the train. Oh man, I could go on about the trains. There's always a train. There's always a train where I'm at. Always. Always. And it's always stopped across the tracks. I mean, it's unbelievable. My town has sold out to like the trade union, the trains. Let's see. It's like, what, I can't think of what the U.S., oh, what are they called? What was it? Oh man, I'm not going to be able to think of it. Train company? We'll go with that. Okay, not Amtrak. Crap. BNSF. Yeah, I think that's it. Or Union Pacific. It's either BNSF or Union Pacific. My town just sold out to completely. So, like, the train links are unbelievably long. Way longer than normal. And then, on top of that, they just get to stop in town. Like, it's actually crazy. Actually crazy. I don't know. Just everything that could go wrong. We're going to be watching this, though, guys. Oh, man. Yeah, y'all thought it was just a black screen behind me, didn't you? Yeah, y'all thought it was just... Oh, well. No. Okay, well, I can't do anything funny with that. All right. How's everyone doing today, though? That's my rant for the day. That's what I had to deal with. Didn't even have enough time to brew myself up a hot tea, and I got some serious, like, throat situation going on here with the allergies or something. I don't know. Let's see here. Hello, Love My Aussie. Hello, Mister. Hello, Sherry Rose. Hello, Bugsy. Hello, Obscure Moderator. Hello, Jujubee. Let's see. Hello, Little Bitata Time? Little Bitata Time? Heck yeah. Rachel Wellington. Debbie. I think I said Debbie. Sherry, I said. Air Jeff, heck yeah. MVV. Hi, hello. How's it going? Thank y'all so much for being here. We're going to have a good time with this, I think. We're going to knock this out of the park. Oh, man, it is just... Oh, Artie, it's okay. As you get older, your mind is the second thing to go. Can't remember the first. Man, I love that one. That's a great one. That's a good... I'm definitely going to have to, I'll have to remember that. I'll definitely have to remember that one. Let's see. Get you some tea. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going to make me a fresh one. Like, I ran out of honey, and I only like to do local honey. Because for some reason, not only is the imported honey just as expensive, it tastes completely and totally disgusting. Very disgusting. They're like, if you ever just get generic honey, it's all from Brazil and I think some places in China. And it's incredibly metallic tasting. Like, it tastes bad. Really, really bad. It's, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But yeah. Okay, you guys ready to We're going to Heck yeah. Get ready? Yeah, we got to get ready. This is going to be the most disgusting interview, I think, ever of all time. Candace Owens and Hunter Biden. Like, what was she thinking with this? This is not smart.
Oh, it's wonderful.
All right.
People are
just... trying to get it to the beginning. Okay, it keeps going back to 3. Let's go to the dark screen. There we go. Wow. Okay. Okay, 1, whatever. There it is.
Hunter Biden. Welcome to the Candace Owens show.
It's wonderful to be
People
here.
are just
Instantly, she's clipping really hard for some reason. Not sure what's going on with that.
going to be like, how on earth did this happen?
I know.
I got to give them a bit of a
Yeah.
backstory. So I went to dinner with a fellow podcaster, and we were just talking about interviews because we don't do too many interviews on the show. And he first asked me what was the best interview I ever did, and I said, without question, the USS Liberty survivor, Phil Turney. And then he said, what would be your top interview that you'd want to do? And I said,
And she said, Hunter Biden. Yeah, right? That's exactly what would happen, right? Oh, man.
oh gosh, we're in such a different time now. Like, I'm just not interested in politics. Like, it would have to be something so different. And then I said, actually, Hunter Biden.
Wow. So, okay, so she is just genuinely dumb. Oh, okay. I'll take it, Candace.
And I said to him, I watched
Let me,
your sit down with
screen this.
Andrew Callahan.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the most refreshing interview that I had seen in politics in a very long time, because we're so used to being gaslit about various things happening. Everyone's trying to hide stuff. And we read a lot about you. I guess we didn't really hear anything from you. So this was kind of the first time that I heard you in your own words, just totally owning your addiction issues, also going after Jake Tapper and George Clooney. And when we were kind of expecting the typical Democrat, like, these are great guys, these guys are amazing, Jake Tapper should, win a Pulitzer, I don't know. And I would just, it wasn't what I was expecting, is what I would say. So, and then that person just sort of made this happen.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure that, a couple rocks later, all of a sudden we're here. You know what I mean? This is completely crazy. I just wanted to interview Hunter Biden, of all people. Nobody else was more interesting. Absolutely nobody else possible out there. It had to be Hunter Biden. Who is paying Candace to do this? I really want to know who's paying Candace to do this, because this is a remarkable paycheck. This has got to be a massive paycheck. This is going to be fun, guys. I think we're going to have a great time here today.
Well, I want to just sort of get into the Hunter Biden story. I will say to the audience right now, I have already made the pledge right when I got on the phone with you that, like, obviously I'm not going to make you say anything bad about your father, because that would just be completely demonic to be like, say something terrible about your father.
Yeah, no, don't push him on anything about, like, his sister's journals or anything like that, admitting that Biden was doing nasty stuff with her. Don't at all, like, bring up anything evil that his father did. Don't bring up the fact that he was anti-busing. Don't bring up the fact that he's friends with two very, very, very famous Klan members or anything like that, Candace. Let's not talk about any of the negative stuff of the Democratic Party or the president of the United States, the former president of the United States, because God knows if you had Trump Jr. on here, or if you had, I don't know, Don Jr., Trump Jr. is Don. What am I thinking? Oh, Eric. That's who I'm thinking of. I almost had to Google that. Eric, or, any of the Trumps in general, you wouldn't absolutely be lambasting them just in general over Trump. You wouldn't be able to stop talking about Trump. But with Biden and his corrupt father and son and all that stuff, the Burisma stuff, yeah, you're not going to question any of that, are you? We'll see. We'll see if Burisma comes up.
Everyone knows my opinions, my political perspectives. They're already out there. He is your dad. So that is separate from my viewpoints.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way.
It'd be demonic to talk about his father, who did very, very known corrupt things, who was getting a massive payout from DuPont in the 70s. Massive payout from DuPont in the 70s and all that stuff. Yeah, let's not talk about that. But let's accuse Erica Kirk of murdering her husband. Heck yeah, that's so good. Good job, Candace. Nice principles you got here.
I possibly could.
Yeah, of course. I totally get that. But there's a lot to be said about you, and a lot that I guess hasn't been said about your journey. And I guess I want to start with just one question for the culture. The cocaine that was found at the White House.
Yeah.
I could go my entire life without seeing that again.
Was it yours?
No, not only was it not mine. No, number one is...
All right, Candace, this is off to a great start. We know for a fact it was his. He was the only one in there. Who else would have dropped that? It's literally on camera. He was the only guy in that building at that time when it was discovered. Who would have literally planted that? Now Candace Owens is completely running cover for Hunter Biden.
Thank you for having me here. And one of the reasons is to be able to answer these questions. You know, the one thing I am
Questions. What are questions but statements without answers? Or something like that, right? What was that on Simpsons?
after 6 years of this. I've been sober since June 1st of 2019, clean and
Okay.
sober. The verified
Bro, no, you have not. Come on. Like, there were so many scandals with you between 2020 and 2024. And I was clean and sober before I ever got into the White House with my dad.
verifiably so, by the way, and verifiably so by the Bureau of Probation, in which I was drug tested randomly for over the course of 2 years while I went through my trial.
Yeah, that's proof. You definitely didn't fake it or anything. People don't literally strap a condom full of pee on their leg or anything like that to keep it warm and then poke a hole in it to, simulate peeing in a cup. Yeah, I'm sure, definitely. I'm sure one of the most wealthy men in the entire world definitely was really being watched closely.
And things like that. But beyond that is that directly to your question, I wasn't even there. Not only there, but people have to understand is where that cocaine was found was, the visitor's entrance underneath that is where visitors come in.
It was found in the back of a library of the Library of Congress, right? It was found back there. It wasn't at the visitor's entrance. What?
And they come over from the old executive office building staff to go to the Oval or go to the chief of staff's office or to the offices in the West Wing. And it was found in a cubby in right outside of the Situation Room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like no possibility, not even remotely, beyond the fact that I wasn't even there. I mean, I spent probably, over the course of 4 years, maybe 25 days at the White House, like 25 nights, 30, if I, am being fair. And so it's just it was an easy, I'm an easy target, and understandably so.
Right.
I mean, I've been, I think, probably the most famous addict and famous person, through the grace of God, in recovery for 7 years, or close to 7 years, June 1st. So,
Yeah, I definitely thought you were on drugs while your
Yeah.
father was in the White House. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it might have just also been the timing of the laptop coming out and then people just assuming that you were still on drugs. I don't know. That might have been why in our heads we thought that.
I think that it was that they purposely.
Okay, so it was definitely in the West Wing. Okay. On July 2nd, 2023, U.S. Secret Service discovered a small plastic bag containing less than a gram of powder. It was definitely used during a routine patrol. It was located in a cubby hole in one of the storage lockers, receptacles, reportedly cubby number 50. Okay. In a vestibule leading to the lobby area of the West Executive Avenue entrance. Okay. Great. Okay. I thought it was outside the library.
They conflated.
Or not outside, but in the library.
I wrote a book, which came out in April of 2021, in which I did something that very few people, I think, ever in that are kind of like similarly situated to me do. In which I was 100% frank.
He's still on the drugs. You know how I could tell? His jaw's clenched, and he's talking like this, and he's doing this. And I know several people who are actually severe addicts still to this day. So you're just not going to be able to fool me. Man, one of them, I've seen what happens when people get off it too. They slow down a lot. They don't clench the jaw. He's absolutely off his gourd right here. You can see the pinholes right here. Look at how dilated his eyes are right here. That's very visible from this very wide shot screen. Well, it's not really a wide shot, but you could see half of his body here. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that I could see his pupils dilated like crazy here, I don't know about that. Let's take a look at Candace, see if they're about the same size. You know what I mean?
That not only was I an addict, not only was I alcoholic, I don't really see the distinction between the two. They're both
Boy, they're
drugs,
really
but
dilated.
I was a crack addict. Like I was a degenerate crack addict. I mean, I've heard you call me a crackhead many times, and the truth of the matter is I was a crackhead.
Yeah.
And I say
His pupils are way easier to see from here because he's got lighter colored eyes, but you can see even from this wide zoom here, or wide, what do we call this? Not panoramic. It's not quite panoramic, but it's like a wide view. You could see his dilated pupils from here. You know what I mean? So if her eyes, which I can't see because they're really dark, we'll get a close up of her. If they're not as dilated, then it's like, wow, okay.
that not to shock
we'll see.
people because it's really shocking.
We'll take a look.
Crack cocaine carries such a stigma to it to begin with. But I say it because
Yeah, I'd say it does. Are you trying to downplay it? Really? Are you trying to say it's not as bad as you thought it was? Okay.
I think that there are so many people. I know there are so many people. I think that there's, at any given time, 30 million Americans that are either in active addiction or in recovery. There's not a single person that I know that hasn't been impacted by addiction at some level, in some form, personally, or with someone that is 1 degree of separation from them that they love. No one.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Everybody knows an addict. Everybody. Literally everybody.
That I know.
Least of all me.
Yeah, and part of that, one of the reasons I'm here, the stories that you tell about that in terms of
My family.
your family, and there is where the common ground is for me. I can 100% say this is that a friend of mine gave me this quote about 2 years ago, and it's become my mantra, is that it's Mother Teresa. It was attributed to Mother Teresa, is if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. That's my everything now. And part of that is not just the family that you have by blood and birth, but also the community that you're inextricably tied to. And that community for me is the recovery community, and it's people that are still sick and suffering from addiction. And so the biggest reason that I wanted to come talk to you, beyond the fact, and this is not me blowing smoke, I think that regardless
Did you have to pause on the blowing smoke? Come on, don't give them to me too easy.
of whether I agree with you, that you're probably the most effective communicator I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Behind a microphone.
Yeah, the daughter
And
that
it's
they denied.
really
Yeah,
driven me
yeah, no joke there, Debbie. That's a good one. I was thinking about that.
crazy at times. It really,
When I was
really
the
made me
enemy.
mad. Yeah. But is
They are not wanting to pan over to Candace at all. I don't know what's going on.
it I wanted to talk to you about those things and anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm most interested in the addiction story. And
Yeah.
I was saying to you before we
There we
started
go.
rolling that this was sort of something
I'm
that
not gonna be able
I
to see.
noticed when I would cover various topics, whether it was pornography, drugs on my
Yeah.
show, drinking, how many men would write and say they were suffering
Bummer.
with various things, and yet they don't often speak about.
You see the difference in her lighting? That why are they not lighting up this room a little better? You know what I mean? It's so unbelievably dark in here. It's kind of odd. Look at how bright I am. Like just in comparison, like my lights are here. You know, like it's. I could reflect. I think I can reflect it a little bit like that. But yeah, light yourself up. Like I can't see anything, but maybe that's the point. It would be nice to be able to see her pupils, but I'm not going to be able to, so I have nothing to compare it to.
Like how they're quietly suffering, whether it's with addiction to pornography, addiction to drugs, and I don't think there are enough conversations about it. And so when I watched that interview of you just laying it out there,
And her
something that
mic's
most
clicking
people
bad.
try to hide or they're shameful of, I was like, there actually just needs to be more dialogue about it. I grew up with tons of addicts in my family. I have people in my family who are still addicted, and I think there is a natural anger that people have when they, for some reason, believe, and I think this was part of the anger that even that I had it toward you before I heard you speak about your addiction, is that you sort of think when somebody has money and political connection.
My anger comes from him being placed at Burisma and taking a massive, massive salary and being protected by Air Force Two and Biden and just all this other stuff. He was installed by Biden into these positions and had a massive amount of corruption tied to him. That's what I'm more worried about than anything. I don't care that he's addicted to drugs, Ken. I could care less what people do with their own time, by themselves, in their own home. I do not care. I don't care about this drug addiction thing at all. That is the least worrying thing on Americans' minds right now. Nobody gives a crap that he's a crackhead. That is not what's important. We are more worried about the corruption, his ties to his, well, we saw what was on his laptop. We saw the underage kids. We saw all that. It was absolutely leaked all over this Chinese website. Very much busted. But you're not going to be pushing on this at all. No, you're going to talk about his most controversial thing, which was him, cocaine and crack. I don't care about that.
And that somehow removes them from going through these sorts of barriers in life. So when I grew up, it's like, oh, okay, like you have uncles, whatever, that are addicted to crack. You have cousins that are doing crack, whatever it is, or experimenting with meth and drugs and those things. And then you see someone that has a life of privilege, and for some reason in your mind, you wrongly go, okay, that can't happen. And it did happen. And I
don't care.
I'd like to hear like how you got addicted. Like what was actually the story, your path toward addiction?
Yeah. So thank you for let me talk about that, or asking me.
Yeah, he's totally sober. He's totally sober, guys. Trust me, bro. Dude didn't know. Oh, thank you. I don't. Bro, get it out. Spit it out.
And I really mean it. It's one of the things that traps people. I can only speak about myself, but I think that people that are in
that is what she asked you. It has been 2 seconds since she said, I want to know your story, what made you addicted. Well, I can only speak for myself. Yeah, that's the point. That's exactly what she asked you.
Or addicts or that are in recovery, also you find out really fast is that you're not as terminally unique as you think you are.
Totally sober.
Is that and one of the things that that is really important about addicts talking to each other and talking about it is that realization. Because
so how'd you get addicted
one of the
again?
things that traps you in your addiction is shame.
Mm.
And you like me are Catholic, and we have learned
that tracks. It's tracking right now. You're both. No wonder you both are in the same. I wonder how you guys got connected. It's interesting, right? Vatican tour. Who knows?
that guilt is an appropriate emotion. Guilt is an appropriate response to something when you've done something wrong, and you're supposed to atone for it, and you're supposed to seek forgiveness, whether the forgiveness comes from an individual or not.
God, dude.
That is that's the lesson. Is that it is?
I'm glad we're getting a lesson.
Only through seeking that forgiveness can you release yourself from that guilt.
That is amazing. What a great presidential speech. So you want to answer the question? You're not on a debate stage, buddy. You are not running in a primary right now, fighting for your life against like 7 other Democrats or Republicans, wherever you'd want to be. Bro, we just wanted to know. She just asked the simple question of, how did you get addicted? Does Candace push back on this? Let's find out.
That's appropriate. Shame is not. Shame is just absolutely corrosive.
God.
Shame is you telling yourself that you're not worthy, that you're never going to be worthy, that the things that you've done you can never be redeemed from.
Like it.
And I've done horrible things in my addiction in terms of what I did in terms of my relationships and decisions that I made, and more than anything is just removing myself from being present for the people that love me. And what happened to me, and I really mean this, is that the exposure, not piecemeal, but the total exposure, my entire digital footprint stolen from me. 20
Bro, how did you get addicted to this substance was the question.
year digital footprint. Every text message, every picture, all of the things that that you would be ashamed of became front page news for 4 years, 5 years, beginning in 2019. And it forced me into a choice. And the choice was, do I get out of bed and live, or do I die? And it became that much of a dichotomy.
So that's why you started smoking crack? What was the reason, man?
And I chose to live. And it wasn't
Okay.
easy. And
I don't know. I think it's a lot easier than most other things, I guess. But
maintaining sobriety in that kind of like a pressure cooker
Mhm.
is often the thing that triggers you. But something broke in me in a good way, which was that I no longer have any fear. I like, sitting down with you
dude,
is,
he's not even
to me,
talking
all
like
an
about
opportunity
anything.
for you to see me as a human being and not, Hunter Biden laptop
Yeah.
and the
Great.
pictures that, Congressman Green.
Yeah, the pictures that came from it that showed you literally with underage people. Okay, yeah, it's such. I feel so much sympathy for you, man.
Like put up in Congress or the New York Post. I think I was on the cover of the New York Post in one year more than anybody in the history of the paper,
I think his dad didn't remember.
and none of
him.
it was good.
No, I don't think he just cut him off. I
None
think
of
you
it
don't
was good.
remember.
And but what it's given me is the opportunity to own it all. Is to own all of my story without shame or fear.
Oh, Victoria, by the way, the question is how did he get addicted to drugs? It was that simple. He's still just ranting about nothing. This dude ain't sober for anything. It's so laughable.
Realizing that I have a community of people out there that I want to be of service to. I really mean that, and so part of it is by me being able to be
Oh my
honest about
God,
it.
this is
We were just talking
embarrassing.
before we started this. Is the hardest thing for any addict to do is not only get honest with the people that they love, but to get honest with themselves.
Mhm.
This is
And until they
bad.
can really see themselves for who they are, all of it, and decide to love themselves, then the cycle is just going to continue. It's
What
just, at
cycle?
least in my experience, that's the truth.
I think one of the things
Did I even
You're
answer
gonna
your
move
question?
on, Candace? You're not even gonna be like, hey, yo, you didn't answer the question? And now he's gonna talk and look at her face here. He's gonna cut her off. I'm enjoying this so much, Candace. You brought this upon yourself. You deserve this. And you decided to air this? Whew, man.
Yeah, well, I wanna talk about the first time that you got introduced to it because that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, I know. I went.
Oh, she is kind of pushing back a little bit. Okay, first time you got introduced to and ooh. She should have moved on, though. I think it would have been better. This is so funny. Now she's got to try and keep him on track while he's on crack. It's kind of whack. I could drop some freestyle here for you guys.
Into all the good
Yeah,
stuff.
actually do start with that. Like, how did
Yeah.
you actually get
So,
introduced?
okay.
First off, describe
Yeah.
for people who don't know
Yeah.
the difference between cocaine and crack, because
Yeah.
crack is
Yeah.
a lot more addictive.
Yeah.
And so, just what is the difference?
I know I
between?
got a lot of heat for.
No, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I was like, well, he's
yeah.
actually very educated
Yeah.
on this, and
Well, it's important to me to make the distinction that there's this idea that there's this kind of a secret kind of special enhancement to powder cocaine that makes it into crack, and you have to have some technical degree in order to be able to do that. And
What are you talking about?
let's start all the way at the beginning. I think that I'm genetically predisposed to be an alcoholic. I do believe that there is a genetic piece
Great. I'm glad you're predisposed to being an alcoholic. That's cool. How does that turn into crack?
of it. I do believe that my brain works differently as an addict in terms of the way in which the serotonin
Certainly
increase
different.
that occurs because of the
Actually,
dopamine hit and the
the
serotonin increase that occurs because of an introduction of a substance.
Okay.
I believe that that I became acclimated and physiologically dependent
Okay.
upon that when I started to drink in earnest when I was in college, in which you can control. And I made it through Georgetown, and I went to Jesuit Volunteer Corps for a year, and it's kind of like domestic peace. Well, the JVC. I was JVC for a year after college. and then I went to Yale Law School, was married, had my oldest daughter when I was a first year law student, and made it through all of that, and made it through my first years of employment, drinking probably more than everybody than most people do, but completely functional. And one day I woke up when I was 33 years old to my brother calling me and say, "This has got to stop. Like you got to stop." And 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 what he meant is that like
So you had to stop drinking at the age of 33, and you were like, "I bet I'll just start smoking crack."
a whole weekend was missing,
That's
kind of,
great.
and and I said okay, and he drove me to the airport, and he put me on a plane in New York, and I flew to a place that was started by Eric Clapton called uh, Crossroads in Antigua, and I went to rehab, and I came out, and I
I would love to get me an Antigua Fender guitar, though. Not gonna lie.
when directly when I came out, my brother picked me up from the airport, drove me
Uh-huh.
to an AA meeting,
Yeah.
walked in with me, DuPont
Okay.
Circle in DC. I met my sponsor at that first meeting that I ever went to, and I stayed clean and sober for about 7 years, and,
Great.
uh, and then I relapsed,
On
and,
crack?
and it was just such a mundane, stupid story. I was on a plane by myself, everything was okay, things were looking up, it was, uh, normal life pressures, but it was all good, and that's the
I
re
wonder what normal life pressures look like for a multi-billionaire, you know what I mean, or millionaire, or whatever the crap Biden is. I wonder what normal how that would look exactly. The normal stresses of life as a millionaire.
real insidious thing about addiction and alcoholism. It never goes away necessarily. There's always the answer that is being presented to you by the thing that you trust the most, which is your brain.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, he was sleeping with his brother's wife. I forgot about that.
And what it says is, if you don't want to feel this way, whatever the way is, or if you want to feel this way even more,
Feel the way.
I have the answer for you. And I was on a plane by myself and I had a drink. And that drink in 2010, 7 years almost of sobriety, started a cycle of relapse and recovery and relapse and recovery, in which it was really hard for me to be honest with the people that love me because I just wanted to hide it. I just wanted it to go away. And I thought, okay, I'll get
No,
through
no, no,
this.
no. What you wanted was to make it look like you were making progress to your family. While on the back end, you were like, I'm gonna have fun. Gonna be drinking like crazy. That's really what it is. I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm ashamed of this. Oh no, don't come near me, alcohol. That's not what happened. And you know that. You sought out the alcohol, you went and got the alcohol. It didn't sneak up on you. It didn't come get you. You went and got it.
This cycle, and I'll sleep it off this weekend, and that's it. I'm done. And that would last a week, and then it would last 3
Yes,
months,
cousin.
and then I went back to rehab, and then it
His
became
underage cousin.
then I came back, and I started I mean, talk about you talk about this all the time, which I love that you do, is big pharma, you know what I mean? I had shingles, and so somebody prescribed me, like, 52 oxycodone, like, I mean, ridiculous, and I started that, and then I started drinking again, and the prescription ran out, and then this cycle just started to happen, and, but when my brother died, uh, it all
Sought after
fell
his
apart.
wife.
Bo and I, uh, were, uh and I don't purport that our relationship was unique or that his loss was greater than, my loss of him was greater than anybody else's loss of their brother or someone that they deeply loved. But when my mom and sister and my Bo and I were in that car accident in 1972, um, and we survived, it was the 2 of us every day. We're a year and a day apart. We talked every day. I mean, except when he was in Iraq, I literally probably talked to my brother, every day. And,
Okay.
and, uh, and when Bo died, my marriage fell apart, after 20 years, 22 years.
I believe his brother passed away in 2011, and it was from cancer, right? No, it was 2015. So he would have been, let's see. So Bo was 46. Hunter would have been, I don't know, 44. How old was Hunter Biden May of 2015? He was 45, not 44. Okay. Wow, they were very close together in age. Okay. So, yeah, he was 45 years old when his brother passed away. Definitely a difficult thing at that age. I mean, 45 is young, 46 is young to pass. I don't know that I would jump to crack, but all right, we'll get there, I guess. Maybe.
By the way, for reasons that marriages fall apart, you know, and but I take a lot of responsibility for.
Yeah, marriages just fall apart. How'd you get with your brother's wife, by the way?
And it just started a really, really dark cycle. In the past, when I would have these relapses, there was always someone in such proximity to me that they would I couldn't escape. I couldn't escape. In this instance, Bo was gone. I right after Bo died, I
He's
ended up
very high right now.
separated from my wife
He
within
is
the month.
definitely on
And
one. He's
my
not
dad,
sober.
for the first time in my life, who was my rock, was stuck in his own grief, like deep, deep grief.
Mm.
And I just went down into a hole. And I checked myself into a rehab that year and came out and
Oh, really?
stayed sober for a while.
Joe let the hospitals, like, that news crews into the hospital and, wow, filmed his sons after the mom passed away? That's kind of wild. That's crazy. Hello, Bad Hat. Thank you for being here.
And then relapsed and then went into an outpatient program in DC where I went 4 hours every day for, from 8 to 2 or 6 hours every day, stay sober. And then I relapsed and I came back and they said, well, you have to, I admitted to them that I relapsed and that in this instance, I also used cocaine. And they said, well, you have to take a drug test. And I said, I'm not going to take a drug test. I'm not going to put something on, it's because it's not protected by HIPAA in a rehab scenario, which is crazy, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway.
What are you talking about? It's not protected by HIPAA in a drug rehab? Let me see. To show someone's drug test in a rehab. Showing or sharing another patient's drug test in a rehab facility is a severe violation of the federal and state privacy laws. What is he talking about? I've never heard that before. Where was this at? Delaware? I'll put DC just in case. Yes, it is a severe violation. Sharing or showing another person's drug test in a rehab facility breaches both HIPAA and stricter federal substance abuse laws. 42 CFR Part 2. Yep. Yeah, this is absolutely, there is no way around it. It is federal. You cannot show somebody's drug test from a rehab. So Hunter Biden is just making stuff up right now. There is absolutely no way at all in any type of rehab facility, in any type of facility, that you are allowed to share the results of somebody's drug test, including job interviews, including any of that. All they can do in a job interview is if another job calls them and goes, hey, is this a good guy? They can literally say, well, he did fail a drug test. What did he fail? Can't give that information out. But you can let it be known that he did fail a drug test if it's in a job interview type scenario. But as for actually being able to tell people like what he did and didn't pass on, no, that's a HIPAA violation. It's federal. So he's just absolutely full of crap.
Long story short, they said, you can't come back in unless you take the drug test. And I said, well, I'm not taking the drug test. I'm going through a divorce. And it's not protected by HIPAA. It will become public. I don't want to.
Okay. let me just put it this way. Is there any rehab facility that is not protected by HIPAA? Let's see. AI mode. Great, AI. I'm so glad you're useful at sometimes and so glad you're not. Why just link me a bunch of stuff? Okay. Is there a facility rehab center of sorts in the US that is not protected by HIPAA? Dang it. There we go. Reba? Great. How did I confuse my... There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's just see what Grok comes up with here, guys. Because it's definitely protected by HIPAA. As someone who has a wife in the hospital, you know what I mean? Or not in the hospital. She works in the hospitals and works... Well, she's a nurse. Not just hospitals, but, you know, I won't give too much away. Yes, there are facilities in the U.S. similar to rehab centers that are generally not subject to HIPAA. Traditional inpatient or outpatient rehab treatment centers that provide clinical medical services, diagnosis, therapy, counseling, medication management, etc., for substance use or mental health are almost always covered entities under HIPAA. They must follow strict privacy rules, often in addition to even stricter federal 42 CFR Part 2 regulations that apply to substance use or disorder records. However, many sober living homes. Now, if it's a sober living home, I guess, and not a rehab facility, which he said rehab, then also called recovery residence or recovery housing. Did he say anything about housing? Because that's not a rehab center. Let me go back and see. We'll see here.
They said, you can't come back in, a drug test, cocaine. And they said, well, you have to take it. I relapsed. I came back and they said, well, you have to, I admitted to them that I relapsed. And that in this instance, I also used cocaine. And they said, well, you have to take
Okay, so we'll go back a couple more.
Where I went 4 hours every day for, from 8 to 2 or 6 hours every day. Stay sober. And then I relapsed.
Dang it. Come on.
Checked myself into a hole. And I checked myself into a rehab that year.
Okay, so he checked himself into a rehab. They are covered by HIPAA. 1,000,000%. It's not a recovery home. It's not like a house for people to kind of sit like a group home or anything like that. This is a rehab center. So if it is classified as a rehab center, it is 1,000,000% covered by HIPAA. So he is just absolutely lying. I'm going to go forward a little more here.
Scenario, which is crazy, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, they said, you can't come back in unless you take the drug test. And I said, I'm not taking the drug test. I'm going through a divorce. And it's not protected by HIPAA. It will become public. I don't want to do this to my family.
It's covered by HIPAA.
I'm telling you, I used cocaine and I drank. Is that not good enough? Come back. And they said no. For whatever reason, and I'm not blaming them. This is not their fault. I walked out and I knew Lincoln Park was a kind of open-air drug market. I saw a woman that was kind of famous in...
So even in hospitals, Ed, there are plenty of people who actually see, like a good example, like a nurse tech, which all you have to do is apply. Like if you want to get a job as a nurse tech right now, all you got to do is apply and they'll hire you on. You don't have to have any qualifications or really anything like that. They'll get you set up in the hospital nowadays. And they don't at all let you, how would I put it? They don't let you go and take like special classes anymore to become a tech or an aide or anything like that. It's all done in-house now. And even those people will constantly, hello, buddy. Whoa. What are you doing, man? Oof. Are you wanting to go outside? I may have to take you on outside, buddy. But yeah, so long story short with all this, unlike Biden here, I'll actually make it a long story short. He ended up, these people end up seeing things all the time on the record, but what HIPAA specifically covers is if they get caught telling anybody anything, they're going to get in a lot of trouble. So it's all kind of there in the hospital, and believe me, people gossip all the time, but that's what HIPAA kind of protects.
the area
Let's see.
since I had been in college.
Actually, here, let me take this boy outside. He's wanting to go. It's been rainy all day, so poor thing's been stuck inside. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's hear some more Biden.
Literally for 20 years that I
Randomly
would see in the
crazy.
streets around, DC in that area where I worked for a long time. And I went up to her and I said, "Can I get some crack?"
Wow.
And I think it was basically, I said, "Can you help me commit suicide?" I mean, I don't
What?
think I know that now and looking back.
He was just like, yeah, so I want some crack. And then he goes to ending himself for some reason. But really, that was going to be your end game? Like, okay, I want a bunch of this specifically. And then I want to end myself? Dude, okay, I don't want to sit here and, like, suggest anything to anyone or anything like that. And I would never do this. But if I knew I had days to live, there are 3 specific things I would certainly try before I went out. One of them's not natural. Okay, one of them's the rock star way. You know what I mean? That I would try if it was like I'm terminal. I would never do it otherwise. The other 2, open to maybe, I don't know, maybe. That'd be, the fungus itself. The funny looking things from Alice in Wonderland. And then probably the other thing, which would be what Joe Rogan does. You know what I mean? Is it bad to say that on YouTube? DMT? You know what I mean? But the thing about it is I don't think I could handle that. Because I'm such a lightweight in general. Like, it takes me 4 beers, guys. And I'm pretty good. So I don't know. I just don't have much of an interest in doing that. I have other things that I need to do in life instead of drugs and alcohol. I don't even drink really anymore. The only time I drink is when my brother-in-law comes over and on Intoxigaming every now and then, which is once a week. But sometimes I just fake it. I'm not even kidding. And I don't do a great job of faking it. So, I don't know. If I have a couple beers, I usually wake up the next day in really bad shape. Severely dehydrated for some reason. I don't know what it is about alcohol. I could drink water for the rest of the day after I've had a few drinks. And for some reason, the next day, it's a bad, almost hangover day. And that's if I just have drinks. If I get trashed, which can happen every now and then, I ain't getting out of bed the next day. I'm usually like spinning around the room. I'm throwing up. It's just bad. So I drink maybe 4 times a year. And that's just when my brother-in-law comes down. Because I will still do that with him no matter what. Because being around a campfire with a couple of beers and just hanging out with them, best time. Best time, genuinely. Like, I can't think of a better time. That's just what I like doing. And it's like, you know what? I'll pound these down knowing I'll have a bad day tomorrow. Knowing that I only do this about 4 times a year and that's all I'm going to get, it is a real treat. You know what I mean? When that happens. So it's like, I'm going to do it. But man, I should, wait, actually I will. I'll tell you what, because it'll happen at some point. I'll come onto a live stream the next day afterwards and you guys could see me straight up what it's like the day after.
It was the coward's way. And I really mean that. I was a coward. I didn't go and just do it. I said, let me do it this way. And really,
Why?
really, really drag
Why
everybody
the
down
crack
with me along the
to
way.
end yourself? Why?
Let me figure out the way not only to kill myself, but to maybe kill my dad.
Was that supposed to slip out? Wow. Okay. So would this be like left on left crime then? Would they finally say a Democrat did, or would they actually? Do you think the left, if that happened, would actually be like, oh well, Hunter was going down a right wing rabbit hole here? You know what I mean? Kind of. It's quite the pickle.
Really hurt my family. Um,
Why?
Particularly my 3 daughters who, like, adore me and I adore, like, just the fact. And I smoke crack. And the difference between
His eyes have been bloodshot this whole time, and I almost was like, oh, he's about to cry. But nah, dude's dilated and his eyes are red, but he's moving his eyes side to side, and there's no tears. No tears, no moisture whatsoever. We'll see. Maybe he'll let a tear out. Maybe he'll let a tear out, and I'll be wrong. But if a tear doesn't come out at all, look at how bloodshot bro's eyes are here. Whatever he had is kicking in at this moment.
crack cocaine and powder cocaine is this. And I really, truly do not want to give a roadmap for people to be able to do this, because I swear to God, it'll kill you. But it's sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda,
Bro, are you gonna let people know how to make this stuff? For real?
water, heat. That's it. That's all. That is the entire difference of it, which allows it to be ingested through a smoking. And
Smoking,
the
okay.
combination of those things makes it so that it
His eyes are so unbelievably bloodshot too. Like this is getting worse.
affects your physiology
Unless he's wearing
much
contacts,
faster
maybe?
than it would be if you just use powder cocaine through your nose or in any other form other than intravenously. And
Yeah.
it also allows you to ingest more faster than you could possibly ever ingest by sniffing cocaine up your nose. The combination of that, the combination of combustion, ritual, and the ritual meaning the way in which you have to, you know, I mean, I can still feel my hands doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's probably because you just did one. I don't think he's sober, man.
Is, becomes this ritualistic thing with the combination of combustion, which is, and you learn, I mean, if you really study
Yeah,
things
the
about
military
addiction,
did kick him out because of
is
drug
these
use.
kind
Yeah.
of key components of oral fixation and things like that. It just becomes the most ungodly addiction that you.
So yeah, speaking of which, that's a great example. She was so on Victor Marx for him ending a guy or having homicidal thoughts. And then she ain't gonna question this man at all. Do you still have homicidal thoughts? Wild.
You can possibly imagine, to the point where I was smoking crack. I
Yep.
mean, literally, I was either looking for or smoking or recovering, not even recovering. You don't recover. You just go find more for close to a 2-year period of time.
Boy.
Wow.
And it took me,
By the way, if anybody's new here, please definitely hit that subscribe button. It helps so much. And same with a like button. That's all I ask for, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Man, 300 people being in here, crazy. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
to places, I wrote all about it. And I got made
Yes,
fun
you-
of about it.
Awful to Victor.
And, people think that, when I wrote my book, like,
Treat a crackhead like a king.
clawing
Crazy.
through the carpet to find crack cocaine and, Parmesan cheese and I know it's a real laugh line, but anybody that's ever been an addict like that, they don't laugh about it.
Bro was sniffing Parmesan cheese off this floor. That's crazy.
It's devastating. Think that you were that person.
Mm.
You can see yourself doing it. Just devastating. And so what
Couldn't have been that hard if
happens
you didn't stop.
in addiction so
Could've been that
often
aware.
is this,
I don't
is
know.
people not only, they can't admit that.
Oh, man.
They can't even admit it to themselves. They just block it out. They go, they get 30 days clean. They come out, they go back into the same exact situation that they were in before. And they think, I'm just not going to do it again. I'm just going to stay, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And what will come up is that
You were an addict.
that
That was hilarious.
I wake up in the
man. It's crazy. This guy's so high off his gourd. Everyone here could tell. It's wild.
morning and they'll remember that time in the motel with the prostitute that brought you the drugs and that just stole your wallet and all your and all your drugs and everything, and you had to you were clawing through carpet to see if there was anything there.
So I can
And you
tell you
smoke
this,
what's
like, actually, you know what? I got an idea. Wait, what happened to my My camera move? Oh, thank you. Hey, can you do me a favor real quick? Oh, that's just his chair in the shadow. I thought that was my green screen messing up right there. Hey, can you look at this guy's jaw? Don't worry, just stand at a camera shot. Yeah. And tell me, do you think this dude's high right now, or do you think he's not? Just based on the patients that you see every day. Okay? Yeah. Like, do you think he's sober? Let's take a look.
Pepper white that you found on the ground. Like, it's the shame
Mm.
is thinking of yourself like that, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you came from, whether your dad's the president of the United States or it doesn't matter. And they don't admit that to themselves. They don't admit it to anyone around them. Don't ever say it. And you know what happens? They never lose it. And it sits like right here, like in the back of your head, and it pops up. And you just feel so disgusted with your
What do you think? Hard to tell from there. By the way, this is Hunter Biden on Candace Owens' show. Oh, it's okay. Oh, thank you though. Love you. She brought me some food, so. That's crazy. Hey, buddy. Here. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, you cannot be in there with that. You will snatch it. Yep. Nope. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. No, 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 no. No. Ooh. And he is being extra bad behavior today. He is trying to claw at this meat. Oh, man. Pat the plumber here. Thank you so much. I think it says plumber, right? I assumed that. Let's see. Yep, Pat the plumber. Good, good, good. Good profession, man. I almost went into that profession. I tried to. Bro, you're my new favorite streamer. Wait, bro, you're my new favorite. But where can I hear you shred? Oh, heck yeah. Let me, I can link that to you. It's just one song that I did really, and then a bunch of older, not as good videos. But I'll link that for you guys real quick if you guys want to see me. But I'll play some here today too. Yeah, probably. I'll pick it up. Have a little bit of fun with it. Let's see. Go. I will get the video. If you guys want to see this. Man, thank you so much for that 20, by the way, Pat. That's awesome. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you, man. Let's see. Geeter. I'll do this here. I'll do this and I'll pin it. If you guys want to check that out, I appreciate that, man. That's very nice of you. Thank you. But yeah, I have my Majesty out right now. Turns green in the light. You can see it gets transparent, but then it's purple. Yeah. It's a see-through guitar, but only with the green screen.
yourself that your brain immediately tells you, regardless of how far away you are from a drink or a drug, like, I know the way not to feel this way. I know exactly how to feel this way. You're going to die if you keep feeling this way. You need to take a drink.
Mm.
And that's always how it starts. I mean,
Really?
alcohol is the most dangerous drug in the world.
Well, yeah, it's definitely coming off of alcohol is dangerous. You just got to really, whew, man, you really got to do a slow detox. And, you really should, like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to count whenever you get blackout. But if you're really that far gone, you need to take everything in shots. You know what I mean? And take away a shot each day. You know what I mean? And if you start getting sick, maybe have that one little extra shot and then work from there down too. Takes a while. You want to come down off of alcohol badly. Because if not, you could go into delirium tremens and you could die very quickly. It's not something people think you could just quit. You cannot just quit. It's very bad. But once you do quit, it usually is one of the easier things to kind of stay off of in that sense because of the hangovers. You start feeling them whenever you don't do alcohol every day. You know what I mean? Some people don't still, but a lot of people I've heard that have finally broken away from alcohol were like, I did relapse and the hangover was so bad I couldn't even bring myself to take another drink, So, yeah. Yeah, the shakes, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, of course, prescription's going to be way more dangerous always. You know what I mean? You could accidentally take too much in a heartbeat. With alcohol, it's still easy to take too much, but your body kind of shuts down usually before you can. Some people, well, I mean, it depends on what they're drinking too, because if they take like Everclear instead of their normal vodka or something, well, then it's really easy to get there. People are crazy. You know, people are definitely crazy.
Just by
That's
virtue of
bad.
the amount of destruction and
Oh, Xanax is the
and
same as alcohol? I didn't know
devastation
that.
that is that comes personally into the people
Oh,
around
good for you,
people that
Okie. I'm glad
are
to hear your husband's been sober for
alcoholics.
that long.
And I don't find any difference between being an addict and an alcoholic.
Man, Obscure, I'm sorry to hear that your brother passed. That sucks. I'm sorry, man.
And but that's where it starts. And that's where it started for me. That's my story until I met Melissa and got clean and sober. And I've been so, almost 7 years now.
All right, you guys, some moments change everything. And for this, for what's up, there's this idea care.com. I guess for a living. I don't really.
Oh.
Candace 10 at out. When you're in that.
That was like one of those hidden demonic messages. Like, it was just so perfect. Oh, wow. That one was good. Oh, I enjoyed that.
That moment, and I guess people don't realize, like, you're going through this and you don't get to decide what your father does for a living, and I think that's probably why people separated as well too, because like I said,
Congrats,
there's this
Cameron.
idea
I'm glad to hear that,
of
man.
what a
And same for you,
politician's
Osmo.
family is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you obviously are,
Kipatsa, you too?
because I genuinely understand what those sorts of addictions do. I don't think people realize you're just not even yourself. Like, you're like, it's like a demon, as the best way to say it. And maybe I'm taking a Catholic take on this, but like, it's like a full demonic possession when you're in the throes of these drugs. And I mean, this was actually a great benefit of
I wonder how she knows that.
A&E doing intervention, because people could really see these moments where people will choose the drug over their family. They will choose the drug over their kids. They will choose, they'll choose the drug over literally anything. And for people who, and I actually tend to agree with you that I've wondered myself if there's something.
She's definitely right about that. And I've seen that. And to this day, I'm still fired up about it. Let's put it that way. Someone that, I know that's chosen all of it over their own kids. And it's, that fires me up pretty good.
Genetic, because I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just haven't found the drug that would do that to me. But like, I would say that like, I've just never been, never had something and was like, oh, I just need to have that again or want it again. And I've seen friends that they have something once and they're like, want to do this every second. And I go, that's very interesting. Like, it's almost like you're
I totally,
made of something different.
I'm certain of that. And the science is certain of that. And anyways, I mean, we all can, I think that we all can associate with, understand
I thought he was fixing to have a stroke. Good God.
addiction at more or less devastating levels. So, for instance, where's your phone? I mean, you have you basically have a packet of heroin.
Right.
We all do in our pocket,
Yeah.
constantly giving us that dopamine. Which, by the way, we can get to talking about that because I think that we are not nearly as divided of people as we think that we are. I think that bag of heroin in everybody's pocket is feeding them a lot of that division. But so we can all kind of understand
What did you say about a bag in that pocket that he pointed at? What was that?
in our pocket. You basically have a packet of heroin.
Right.
We all do in our pocket,
Yeah.
constantly giving us that dopamine. Which, by the way, we can get to talking about that because I think that we are not nearly as divided of people as we think that we are. I think that bag of heroin in everybody's.
If she found a baggie in her office after that, that would be one of the funniest things. I would hope she would be truthful about that. She'd probably sweep that under the table, not talk about it, but wow, that would be, to be a fly on the wall for that situation.
Pocket is feeding them a lot of that division. But so we can all kind of understand the compulsion to do things that aren't, that clearly aren't benefiting us. Like staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning and going through your For You page on TikTok. Every mother.
Oh, God, I can only imagine what that dude's For You page looks like on TikTok.
father
Gross.
can watch their
Let's put it this way. Not a single one of them are probably above the age of 18.
teenager do that and go, God, this is awful, and I'm going to take his phone away. And then they turn back to their phone and they they start going through their phone. Like, I'm I am not any better. So we can kind of all understand that compulsion.
Yeah, is that what he actually said? I thought I misunderstood. I'm going back to that. Did he actually say there's a bag and everybody's like, hold on.
In her pocket. You have less devastating addiction at
Okay.
more or less devastating levels. So, for instance, where's your phone? I mean, you have you basically have a packet of heroin.
Right.
We all do in our pocket.
Yeah.
I think I know what he's trying to say.
Constantly giving us that dopamine, which by the way.
Oh. Okay. He's talking about the phone itself is as bad as heroin because you'll start doom scrolling. The way he said it was so not the right way to say that. He should have been like, you got your phone right there by you. Okay. That is a dopamine hit identical to heroin. That's what he should have said. But to sit there and be like, you got a little baggie of heroin every time when you have your phone with you, it's like, what? That's not how I would have worded that, but okay.
Wait, we can get to talking about
Talk
that.
about being high off your gourd.
And going through your For You page on TikTok.
Yeah.
Every mother, father can watch their teenager do that and go, God, this is awful, and I'm going to take his phone away. And then they turn back to their phone and they they start going through their phone. Like, I am not any.
Okay, I don't understand that. I'm going to take his phone away, and then he goes like that, and just like, okay, well, you going to take it away? What are you going to do about this?
Better. So we can kind of all understand that compulsion. It's when the compulsion becomes just
the compulsion.
So the blast radius continues to grow. So
then like 5 seconds later, Candace starts to smell something.
The difference between being a addicted to your phone and being addicted to crack cocaine, I'm not saying are the same, but at least we can kind of get a little bit of an understanding of the physiology of that, of the way in which the brain actually works. But
it's like the micro versus the macro, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody has the micro.
But so you can see the micro impact of it. But I think that one of the reasons that why people
you guys leave Mike Rowe out of this. He's a good man.
Are so like shocked by my story. And by the way, and we're able to conflate. So if the New York Post every day for 6 years.
The New York Post every day for 6 years. Did I hear that right? Am I having a hard time hearing?
New York Post story. And by the way, and we're able to conflate. So if the New York Post every day.
Yeah, no, he's totally sober, guys.
For 6 years.
If the New York Post every day for 6 years
runs a picture on online. I mean, I think they literally at one point did like 1.5 stories of me a day for an entire 18-month period. Okay. And
every single day for 18 months, the New York Post on you? Okay, that's new. Let's take a look. What is the longest stretch of coverage about Hunter Biden in months from the New York Post? Let's take a look. We'll see what Grok here has to say about that.
It didn't matter what the subject was. It was a picture of me naked
With the prostitute,
with
with
whatever, and with the crack pipe in my lips.
Yeah, it's
So what
very
like,
funny.
I don't get mad at people when they go, like, "Was that your cocaine?" Like, well, number 1, you know the White House. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. I had 7 Secret Service agents with me at any given time
Oh, okay, you're right. It couldn't have been the known crackhead, it had to be the unknown crackhead that came into the White House, okay.
everywhere I went. The idea that I was in the Situation Room and would decide to drop off I
yeah.
mean, that but beyond that silliness is the
Hunter was sitting there thinking, like, they think this is the Situation Room? I'll create a situation. Drops it right out there, walks in.
um, is I don't blame people for not realizing that I have worked my effing ass off. I mean, in this environment, the proudest thing that I've ever done is stay clean sober through all of that.
Oh, I should have asked
Every
you that.
piece of it, right? Both the trials, through the accusations, through the, you know, Alexander Smirnoffs and Gallups and Konstantin Kuliks and Lev
Well, let me tell you why I added that to Grok real quick, just for transparency here. It said they've been covering him for 68 straight months, but I was like, wait, they're talking about from the first time they covered him all the way to today, not in a row. So it's like, in a row, what's the longest streak unbroken that they've, talked to him in forms of months? So we'll see if it comes up with that better.
Harnesses and Rudy's and Steve Bannon's and all of that is it purely because of the love of the people around me and my willingness to own it all. I'm sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're not taking that away from me.
Right.
No, and by the way, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
The realization at one point is that you can try. I have no fear. No fear. And that doesn't and that's why I'm here. More than anything is because I like I don't I probably, I'm certain that we disagree on a lot of stuff, but there used to be a time, Candace, where you and I could sit down together and disagree about tax policy
Mhm.
and disagree about, the Catholic Church's view on abortion or disagree with, I mean, whatever the subject may be, and still be able to go have a meal together.
Right. I talk about that often on my show. Like
Oh,
back when I
well, I'll be darned. Apparently, it is near continuous from 2020 to today. They're not letting it go because mainly they keep bringing up stories to try and keep it fresh about his laptop. Has nothing to do with the drugs. Very few mentions about drugs. A lot at laptop, emails, Burisma, China. Let's see. It's up top authenticity and admissions. Debt, art sales, interviews, and legal fallout. Investigation and trial updates on his gun case. Yeah, they don't really talk about like the addiction very much. So Hunter's really not selling why they're talking about him, which they haven't talked about the laptop very much at all yet. I was kind of hoping that before the halfway point, we would get a little bit of laptop action.
I was
Yeah.
left leaning in college, my best friend was Republican conservative. Like it wasn't so at each other's throats and hating each other and
Yeah.
wanting to destroy one another. And, you could kind of see the good and the bad and go, well, this is why I have this perspective, and perspectives could change. And that was allowed
Yeah.
too. I think about what it was that, just revisiting what made a lot of people, including myself, so angry about you. Or I guess it wasn't really about you. It was the gaslighting. It was the letter that came from people saying it was Russian propaganda. That is what is driving us crazy about the Epstein files right now. It's what's actually leading, ironically,
Yeah.
to the collapse of the MAGA support, is we don't
Yeah.
want to be gaslit.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it wasn't you. That's why it was so refreshing when you were like, yes, I had a crack addiction. This is me. I did this. I was with hookers.
Yeah.
But you weren't speaking for you. And there were literally a bunch of people that were coming out and saying, this is not real.
Yeah.
And that is the most infuriating thing because
Yeah, y'all thought
everyone's
that was gonna
average.
be loud,
Everyone
huh?
can connect with addiction. Everyone could have this conversation. Actually, if you would come out and I probably in that environment, obviously, maybe that would there would have been a different result
Yeah,
because we were at
Candace.
each other's
Yeah,
throats.
no, exactly.
But that is
I
what
get your
made
point.
people so angry.
Yeah.
It was like, nope, he never smoked
if I-
crack. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
The laptop is Russian propaganda. We're like, guys,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, by the way, is that
Finally, we get
here's the
laptop.
problem, is that Steve Bannon saved, and Rudy Giuliani saved the quote-unquote laptop, which, by the way, is bullshit. Like, if we can agree on that gaslighting, I will agree on the gaslighting of this, is that there was never a quote-unquote laptop. There was a hard drive
Okay.
of stolen and hacked material, wherever it came from, whether it came from
Bro is literally saying, well, it was mine, but not, it was in my laptop, but it ain't mine. He actually became a street crackhead. I didn't know that. I thought he was a fancy rich crackhead. This dude's a street crackhead. Bro, it ain't mine. This is amazing.
the Delaware repair shop, or whether it came, like Lev Parnas says, from Dmitry Firtash, who was trying to sell a hard drive of Hunter Biden's in Ukraine, that they were looking for before the laptop repair shop guy was ever the twinkle in the eye. Just go back and look at the record, okay? So here's the thing.
Well, he said that like his
You're
dad.
absolutely right. And and this is like the freedom of being able to say this. It's like, yeah, they should have let me go out and talk.
Yeah.
But it was 2 weeks before the campaign. And then then the election was over. Steve Bannon, it goes on and with his buddy Gao.
There ain't a chance. Even his brain dead father knew. There ain't a chance in hell you're going out and talking at all. We should not have let him talk. Ever. I mean, just listen to this dude. I understand why they weren't going to let him talk.
The Chinese
my
billionaire that's now
God.
in prison, and that is like a Chinese spy or whatever. Where he got arrested on his boat and all that the crap. Is it? I mean, there is a. Go listen to it. Go listen to the recorded conversation in which they say, like, the laptop, like, we got him. We So we we collected all the salacious pictures and we put them out there. And then Rudy went out and stood on the steps of the Newcastle County Courthouse with Bernie Carrick and said, "This contains child exploitation." Like pure, pure bullshit, just bullshit. So on both sides, you have this reaction, which I don't think was necessarily a coordinated reaction in the sense that, what do you do in 2 weeks? And so they come up with this and they say, and I don't get to go out and say, no, I was. But you know what I did? Is that come April, I write a book and I tell everybody I was addicted to crack. And here's my story. And here's what happened. And here is all of
He should make that a book title. I was addicted to crack. Here's my story. Just so dumb.
the rooms that no one would ever want to admit to being in that I was in. And it was like a blip on the radar because everybody was now fighting about whether there was kind of a suppressed story on Twitter and whether there was a this gaslighting from, and
From
by the way,
Charger.
I am not here to defend any of
But then
those
it's
people.
part of like the political
no.
machine
Is
where
Rudy
they're
still
like,
in the
we have 2
hospital?
weeks to go to the election.
Yeah.
We're going to do this
Have
denial,
to look.
Yeah.
because we can't afford this right now, essentially.
Yeah.
And then we're going to table this, make it past these 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
And then by that time, first and foremost,
by
your
the way,
father
yeah.
won,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and so people are angry. They feel like the election's been stolen and that there was this entire collusion to cover a laptop, which if it was on the other side, they may have done too. This is what DC is. It's politics. But that is where I think the anger came from.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
I get it.
how dare you gaslight us?
Yeah.
And then people then start making you this focal point
Yeah.
of
And it
like,
never had anything to do with me.
Boy, Candace running some cover here.
right. It was
And,
kind of bigger than you at that point.
You know what the laptop proved?
That you were a crackhead.
There you go.
That you
That's unbelievable. GTV, that's what it was. GTV is where it leaked. Okay. No, I'm not saying, it's trying to correct me and say that it wasn't the original leak. It didn't have to be the original leak. Okay. We're going to read this. Oh, there. You're likely referring GTV, part of GTV Media Group, a Chinese language video platform tied to exiled Chinese billionaire. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to be on there. It wasn't like a crazy video sharing site, but somebody dumped it all on that website. It was crazy. Let's see here. So, in late October 2020, right around the time the New York Post broke the story, Gau's network posted and promoted explicit photos and videos that were claimed to be from Hunter Biden's laptop. Gao reportedly directed his supporters to upload and spread this material on GTV and related sites like G News, media outlets, and described it as appearing on a Chinese website linked to Bannon. That's right. Yeah, that stuff was crazy. You could just literally rip all of the files right off. The moment I saw what files were on there, though, I was like, I can't have those downloaded onto my computer. Ever. It was crazy. The amount of child stuff with his face visible. It wasn't like, if it was photoshopped, it would have been crazy good. Because AI didn't even exist at this point in time yet. It was not around to where it could just generate photos like that. Yeah, this was, dude, you ain't getting away with that. There's no way. It did not prove you were a crackhead. It proved that you were involved with minors.
By the way,
deep in the
all
throes
this
of crack
all this
addiction.
other bullshit,
Why does Candace Owens yet again literally defend another child predator?
bribery and all these other things that they investigated up and down during the Trump administration with a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, with the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, the only U.S. attorney in the country to stay on and continue to prosecute me, who then became special counsel after I got a plea deal because I paid my taxes late. And I paid them with penalties and interest, and I owned a gun for 11 days. While they say I was addicted and check that box. That's it. Everybody has all the information. It's
You
not
were
like
in
the
a
Department of
rehab,
Justice
buddy.
has the
That's
my
why it
digital
was illegal.
footprint in every text message, every email. And there's not a single one in which you find that would in any way supports
You kind of left out the part where you put the gun in a trash can, too.
really serious accusations of enriching my father, enriching himself somehow, or none of it. None of it's there. So I own whatever you want to call it. I own the laptop. Come, you know what? We can go through it together. If you're willing to avert your eyes to the tragedy of addiction. I mean, just the absolute tragedy of it.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, there is no space for that in discourse anymore. There's no space for the nuance of, well, that was addiction. That wasn't corruption. I did not do
Or the taxpayers who paid back that taxpayer bill there.
any business
More than likely.
through entire 4 years. I became a painter. You know why I became a painter? Because it literally saved my life. I painted my whole life.
Yeah, you sold a lot of paintings for millions of dollars. I think it was the money that saved your life, probably, quote unquote.
And Melissa instinctively knew that I literally needed to occupy my hands in early recovery, 12 hours a day. To be able to focus on not the crushing weight of the consequences of years of addiction. And so I just sat and I painted and I painted and I painted. And I decided to have a show in the gallery and offer my paintings
That's right,
for
it was
sale.
Haley Biden.
And the New York Post comes out and says, Hunter Biden's selling his paintings for $500,000. I've never sold a painting nor offered a painting for $500,000 in my friggin' life. And by the way, everybody knows this because every painting that I sold, everybody that bought a painting had to pay about $250,000 to defend themselves before an impeachment hearing. Go read the transcripts of people under oath. But regardless, is the laptop
How much did they sell for? Could have said that.
absolutely proved nothing, but it became this cultural touchstone. It was like it embodied the Biden crime family. And if you wanted to be able
He was
to
the Peter Painter.
believe that, not wanted to be able to believe that, if you believe that because you're being told that by people that you trust that have told you that your election was stolen, that your democracy was thwarted, that the process was unfair, is that all you had to do, and I get this, is look at the pictures.
Oh, that's probably
Right? Doesn't look like a good guy to me.
Right. 'Cause
He
you
looks
weren't a
like an
good guy
awful
in the
guy.
pictures.
No,
Yeah, so it's
smoking
not
crack in a
really
motel room with a prostitute.
right. Like, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they come out and, like, they're saying, "Oh, like, this all" like, I admit it all. Not only admit it all, I own it all. I will
Y'all enjoy that little, like, you know what I mean? No, no, we don't. We don't know what you mean.
motel room with a prostitute.
Right. Like, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, no, we don't, buddy. I don't think we do.
they come out and, like, they're saying, "Oh, like, this all" like, I admit it all. Not only admit it all, I own it all.
Wow.
I will own everything, the worst of it.
Mm.
But not the best of it, right? Was the best of it with you and those kids?
All of it.
Wow.
And then being like, I mean, now in retrospect, and things have changed. I mean, times have changed.
Hi,
Like I
Sarah.
said, I was one of the chief people that was really angry about it, and it did.
Yeah.
That was the exact reason why, when I re-examine it, it was the gaslighting. It's the
Yeah.
same reason why I'm angry with Trump over the Epstein thing. It's like I can't come back from media gaslighting. The Trump thing is worse because it came from his own mouth, the gaslighting. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
people trying to cover it up. It was like Trump being like, "What Epstein files? Are we still talking about the Epstein files?" And so. But
wait.
then things kind of changed, I think, with time
These
also
things are good.
because I was very, I would just definitely say I was close with Don Jr. Traveled a lot with him through the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. We talked about it, this corruption, da da da. Can't believe they denied it. All these photos coming out, and then we get whatever this, Trump family is now, and it's like, man, I think it was a historian that wrote on X exactly how I feel, which is I wish I could go back to the days where I thought like Hunter Biden's art was the most corrupt deal that was done in politics. And now we're going, okay, we stood behind Trump, we fought, we shared the photos of Hunter Biden to the extent that we could, and now we have their family engaged in so many.
I mean, she has just pardoned Hunter Biden of all wrongdoing. It's crazy. This is actually nuts.
Corrupt deals, the meme coins, the taking advantage.
So you have Tucker Carlson defending the Muslims. You've got Nick Fuentes telling you to directly vote for Democrats. And then you have Candace Owens, who is glazing the previous administration to make the previous administration look more desirable than our current administration. You'll see how the pieces fit together there? Do you all see what's going on now? It's pretty crazy.
Advantage of people, and you go, okay, well, what we actually have is DC is corrupt. Politics is corrupt. And I think it is kind of a unifying point, not to excuse, the gaslighting of people for 2 weeks, which made people super angry. But
Yeah, what did
I
you,
do think
Tucker
it's just a different time where
2026?
people are kind of going back and examining. And I feel
I
actually
just released
terrible
that video, by the way.
realizing that you were finally clean, and then it's just this humiliation ritual over and over and over again of people putting everything out there and not
Hey,
realizing
Twilight.
also your kids are facing this consequence as well, which people do not think about a lot of times when they publish stories. Like I even was reticent and didn't cover the Chrissy Nome thing because the first thing that came to my mind
Do they have kids?
was their kids. Like I'm like, these are kids that are about to go to college. Like,
Me
and
too.
so, and why are they doing this? Because she's in politics, right? And so this becomes, they don't think about the children. And yeah, I mean, I think now that I have kids too, I think there's just like, wow, they don't sign up for what I do for podcasting. Kids don't sign up for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, number one, though, kids are way more resilient than you think. They're so much tougher. And I know my girls have like got their and they love me, and
What is happening? Is he shorting out?
deeply, and I can 100% accept that love now and return it with everything that I have to offer. But you're, part of what you're describing is politics in memoriam, part of it. But something's changed, Candace. There is a meanness, a willingness to adopt some very, very un-American tactics.
Very un-American, not want a crackhead in the White House, I guess.
Against our opponents because it become a zero-sum game.
Mm.
It's not just that I disagree with you, it's you need to be punished. You need to be punished for what you believe. There's this incredible show. I really wanna meet them one day. I don't know if you listened to it. It's, called The Necessary Conversation. Have you listened to that?
Mm-mm.
Incredible. It's a
We're sure listening to an unnecessary one right now. If there's that, at least. What a diss on her show. You ever listen to the necessary conversation? Oh, what? We're not having one? Well, we should go check that out. Holy cow, guys. I see so many new people in here. Thank you all so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button. That's really all I ask for. Thank you, guys.
brother and a
Hey, what about
sister
Erica's kids? That's a good point,
who
too.
are progressives. One lives in LA and, like, one lives in Austin, okay, something like that, and she runs a bakery. His sister
I was going to say cookie
and
shop.
mom and dad.
Wow.
And they are ultra MAGA, and I think they were, like, in, you know, Missouri somewhere, okay? And I mean,
Good
like,
scenario to
don't take
make
their
one up.
caps off. Trump literally can do no wrong. He's playing 4D chess on the Epstein thing. I know he said no war in Iran, but
Man, so full of crap. Mama Owlbear for $20 says, Candace is kissing Hunter Biden's butt. Who is a known terrible man? He has done bad things to women and girls, but won't treat Erica Kirk with respect, and she has kids. Attacked Victor Marks, etc. What they're saying is crazy. I agree. Like, it's beyond the pale now. Like, I've always given Candace nuance, for the most part. It was always like, okay, Candace Owens, maybe she's right about some of this stuff. Maybe she is seeing some of this stuff and not really sharing it with us. Sometimes I doubt myself, Then we have freaking Hunter Biden on the screen. And this dude's high off of his gourd and can't keep his sentence together. Hardly at all. He's explaining things and chopped up. He's like, just the way he is like, there's no way this man's sober. And I'm watching him just unfold in front of Candace, rant and not answer her questions right. And I'm like, bro, like, I can't trust what Candace says for anything. Claire for the $2, by the way, says she cares about his kids, but not Charlie's. Exactly. Isn't that something? She doesn't treat, quote unquote, Erica Kirk's kids like they're Charlie's kids. Have you ever noticed that? And Candace Owens has never referred to them as Charlie's kids, from what I remember. Kind of interesting, right? Thank you so much, Mama Owlbear, and thank you so much, Claire. That is very, very nice of you. Oh, and Urban Infidel. This is truly a macabre. I had to wonder what you were saying there at first. That's funny. It's truly a macabre. The macabre. What a... Wow. Candace is amazing. Thank you so much, Urban Infidel. Thank you, guys.
He must have a reason for it, and you can't convince, like, literally, but they have this conversation, and they have real issues with each other. Like, the daughter gets really mad at the dad. Like, "Dad, you were a jerk to us when we were kids. You made me," but then she has this conversation with her mom who loves animals and, like, taught her about empathy, and they would adopt
Hairy
all,
legs.
these animals, and they would, and you find out, like, her dad taught, or coached all of their little league games, and she was a softball player, and if a kid couldn't, like, afford the uniform, dad would quietly go out and buy
Wait,
the
Kyle
uniform.
Busch
And
passed away
he's
for
awful
what?
on this thing, by the way. Like, he's
I
like,
don't follow
he's
NASCAR much.
and,
But
like, in terms of the way that he speaks to them, and he's, like, tough, and I don't give a shit, and, drop a bomb on him, kinda,
41
Mhm.
after illness. Huh.
but it's so informative, is that
Wow.
before, that's a normal family.
Mhm.
That's a thing. Before, you and I could meet at a restaurant, in Georgetown, and your husband and my wife, and we could have dinner together, and, yeah, like with Tucker. I knew Tucker, you know what I mean? And, like, you could have dinner together, and
And just to put a little breaking news out there, Kyle Busch passed away. Apparently, he had some severe illness that came on out of nowhere, and they're not saying what it was from exactly. Just illness took him. He's 41 years old. Crazy. I have no idea what happened, guys. I'll look a little deeper.
think that what Tucker was saying was crazy, and I don't agree with, and I don't agree with, half the stuff but you know what it didn't mean? It didn't mean that I thought that he should be tried for treason and executed, and that's what happened to me, and I mean that not
You were working for Burisma, and there are photos of you with underage girls. I almost said women, but that would have been an oxymoron. Underage girls. Like, why do you think people were saying that about you? It's not because of the drugs, dude.
Figuratively. I mean it literally. That's what people were saying. And that's what people of real importance were saying. Those were the
Yeah.
words that were coming out of the mouths, and I'm paraphrasing of people like Steve Bannon and people like
Oh,
Rudy
ruptured appendix,
Giuliani,
maybe?
people of authority.
For Kyle Busch?
And it changes everything. Is how can you even have a discussion, for instance, how could I go out and talk about, how could I respond, was that cocaine mine?
Mm.
Like, what do you want? You want me to take a drug test? Because I'm taking a drug test almost weekly for the Department of Corrections and probation.
Department of Corrections and Probation of who?
You know, I have a probation officer. You know,
For who?
I'm on release until trial. You know, but what do you do? Do you
Yeah, okay, don't name the county or anything like that. I believe you. Just throw out some names, huh?
is that the statement that you make to the New York Post? It's impossible. It becomes impossible. So what do? You realize this, and I don't know if you feel this way in your own life. Is that you know what the real problem is? It's not out there. It's not that person. If I could just get Steve Bannon to tell the truth, if I could just get Rudy Giuliani to stop lying about me, if I could just get Konstantin Kulak to say that he wrote it's not there. You realize in order to survive, it's all inside. Every single piece of it is about figuring out how to love yourself, not live in that shame. And in order for you to be able to be of service first, starts, to Melissa. Like, return the beautiful thing that she gave me, which was a chance
Mm.
that to be of service to my dad, to return the unconditional love, which is not love without consequences, not love without accountability. It's just knowing that no matter what, even through the consequences and being held accountable, that person still loves me.
Mm. All right, you guys, when I think about the future, I picture the little moments that matter most.
Yeah, well, I don't think she does. But yeah, I have no idea what the heck he's going on about now. It's just ranting to rant. Oh, I was in such a bad time. Oh man, they were gonna try me for treason. Oh no, you just don't understand. I didn't think Tucker needed to be tried for treason. Well, yeah, it's because Tucker hasn't actually committed treason. At least not yet. Maybe he goes that route. Who knows? But at the end of the day, yeah, I wouldn't try somebody for treason if they have not committed treason. You know? Like, Candace Owens has not committed treason. Now, I think she has falsely accused someone of a crime, which is a crime in itself. So I do definitely think Candace Owens is guilty of that. But as for treason, no, she hasn't committed treason, you know? Hunter Biden? Yeah, I would say that the whole Burisma thing, that's kind of treason. I think that's treasonous. Pretty sure, I think that was pretty much treason. I think Biden himself committed treason. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think it's applicable.
Most huge new French kitchen of it pull time. It was supplementing many who also came across in your interview with .com/Candace. I think that was also what came across in your interview with Andrew Callahan, where after I watched it, I think it sort of edited my opinion about that relationship between your dad, because I think since the laptop scandal, in my mind, it was I guess a bit cartoonish, where it was like, well, you can do whatever you want. Go ahead, smoke crack. We're just powerful. We'll cover it. We'll do it. Like, that's the whatever. We've had so much power. We've acquired so much power.
But yeah, so they weren't really doing that, is what you're going to say now, Candace? What opened your eyes to that?
And then when I sort of saw you really defending your dad over this George Clooney thing, I was like, okay, this is just a normal father-son relationship.
Yeah. So, trust me, bro? Okay. Cool, I guess. Marissa Justice for the 10 here. Can't believe what a hypocrite Candace is. She has given Hunter grace, but didn't give Victor, or does end, or man, if I could read that right. Can't believe what a hypocrite Candace is. She is giving Hunter grace, but didn't give Victor any or doesn't give Erica or TPUSA any. Exactly. No grace for the people she doesn't like, only grace for those who she is now allied with. This is weird. Very, very weird. She has not pushed back on Hunter Biden at all in this interview.
Like, people can't apply that for some reason when you're talking about a president or somebody that has access to power, but he just loves his dad. And this is the way any normal person would defend their dad. If they said something about your
Yeah.
father, if they said something about your son, like, this is so normal that I think that's what
Yeah.
was a bit
Yeah.
arresting for me. I was like, this is very normal dynamic. He doesn't care if Jake Tapper's on his side.
Yeah,
He
he's
doesn't
wearing
care if
double
George
denim.
Clooney is on his side. That's
He's
his
double
dad that
dip-
you're
double
talking
dipping
about,
on
and
that
he's
denim.
having a natural reaction that I would have if someone was
Oh,
talking.
also, let me properly, Marissa, thank you so much for that $10. I just wanted to make sure I absolutely doubly thanked you at least. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
Talking about my dad, my grandparents,
are
my
amazing.
sister, my cousin, even when they do something wrong, by the way. Like, it's like, okay, no, but like, that's my family member who did something
And your
wrong.
kids.
So
And
you
your
have no
husband.
right,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
will breathe fire on someone. And that's kind of, and you're right. And now it's getting,
Why don't you take that consideration at all for Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's kids, for Victor Marks or anybody else? Like, genuinely. Like, that is actually crazy, you know?
dirtier. The games people are playing are dirtier, and it is about wanting you to feel unsafe. And
Hey, Ornery Onyx says, I will never be audience captured, yet your channel has become almost exclusively a Zio channel after the channel started getting views. Guess what? I'm here in front of everyone right now. I don't care about Israel, and I'm America first. Let him have it, chat. Completely ridiculous.
I think that is something that is so new
Yeah.
when you have people posting your address, posting where you are, knowing that you have children. And yeah, I really do. And it is over perspective. Like, for me,
Yeah.
it was me
Joe,
changing
go
my
ahead
mind
and
on
tell him
Israel.
that you care
And
so much about
suddenly
that.
I'm getting the New York Post treatment, and I'm getting all of these people coming after me, and I'm going, this is my perspective. You're welcome to try to debate me on why I feel the way I feel about, which is because I have two eyes, about what's happening in Gaza. But to do these
Well, we know you
tactics
got
where you're
two
trying
eyes.
to destroy people that feels very, very new to me.
Yeah. And let's be not let's be honest. I hate that phrase. Okay.
Oh,
I got it
no,
from
the
my perspective is
Jews.
this. I know where that started. And that started when
When did it start?
Donald Trump.
There's nothing funnier to me when someone goes, "Oh my god." I know when that started. So amazing. Your content changed post? No, my content hasn't changed. I've just been going after Candace, but I've been calling out Candace for literally about a decade now. So, no. You're completely wrong, Henri Onyx. I am not audience captured. I don't even ask for donations. I don't advertise literally anything. If my channel disappears tomorrow, I still got a full-time job. It's all good. Speaking of which, though, and people do donate, though. They're very kind. Mr. B for the $10 super secret Zio payment. Thank you, man. I appreciate you being here. You guys are amazing. You guys are hilarious. It would be like someone telling me they fall 10 feet while they're clearly falling 4'5". What? Oh, that they're 10 feet tall when they're... What are you talking about? All right. Well, hey, let me know when I'm actually captured by my audience and only doing what my audience asks me to. I'll go right on ahead.
From rally stages started
So
the
silly.
Where's Hunter? Or yell, Where's Hunter? Call and response crowds. And then they printed T-shirts, and then they made hats, and then they made mugs.
Yeah,
Where's
they were
Hunter?
great. They're hilarious. I should have bought
And
one.
then they showed up my door. I didn't have any security. I didn't have anybody. I can't afford that in my life, particularly at that time. And they literally showed up at my door with bullhorns and MAGA hats, and on the direct.
Is that her name,
and
Navy Biden?
the way that they got there,
She's not
is-
going to ask about that.
the New York Post
The one that he
published
abandoned?
on the front page, on its cover, an aerial view of my home.
I do read a lot of my comments on Onyx, but now I have like 1,000 times more the comments. And I try to respond to as many as I can. But there's a time when I have to put my phone down and hang out with my family. So, I mean, what did you think? I have 2 kids and a wife. You realize that, man, right? Like, I can't just, like, try to argue with you all day and every day or anything. I haven't even seen a comment from you in, like, I don't know, 2 years or something like that, probably. What do you want me to do? Good God, like that is, you should stay off the internet for a bit. Seriously, go outside.
with
Wow.
the address, and then in the thing said, and if you stand here at this, on this part of the street, you can see, and there are floor-to-ceiling windows.
I don't talk about Israel or Jewish things on my channel. What are you talking about, ornery? I don't cover any Israeli news. I cover Iran every now and then. What are you talking about? Just because people come onto my channel and they're pro-Israel does not mean I talk about Israel or anything like that. Like, show that in my videos. I think Israel is our ally. They're the best ally we have right now because they're not hyper left-wing, other than maybe Poland or something like that. But Poland doesn't really have a military, so we can't really rely on them militarily. And when I mean best ally, too, I'm talking mainly purely about military power. Who else do we have that is as strong of a military as Israel right now? Maybe all of Europe, maybe? If they were all to combine. But actually, to be honest, I don't even think Europe would be, I don't know, maybe Europe is about equal to Israel's military? They should be a little bit more powerful, or they're definitely got more manpower. But the technology and stuff like that, Israel's quite a bit ahead. Mainly because of us. We're real good innovators and stuff. We helped them with the Iron Dome and everything like that. So, I mean, Europe would have a pretty tough time, I think, if they went up against Israel. But literally, all of my content is from a pro-Zionist perspective. No, it's not. None of it is. What does calling Erica Kirk out, or calling Charlie, good Lord, what is calling Candace Owens out about, like, her calling Erica Kirk a Black Widow? Specifically, how is that pro-Zionist? What about Victor Marx and their entire story together about, everything Victor Marx was involved with TPUSA? What about any of the TPUSA stuff actually in general is pro-Zionist? What are you talking about? To deny this is to deny the reality? Okay, well, I know what I believe, and you're not going to tell me what I believe. I'm telling you that right now. Just letting you know, buddy. I know what goes on in my head. You have no idea. So don't tell me that. That's just such a silly thing to do. So anyway, I'm going to ignore him for now. We're going to get back to this. Keep that crap up. I'm not going to let you talk in here anymore. That's ridiculous. None of my perspectives are from Israel first. I don't think that way. I am America first, 1,000,000% always.
And, and so they showed up.
Wow.
And Melissa was, 6 months pregnant at the time?
So silly.
She got in the car because she was alone at the time and sped off, and they followed her, and they ran
He looked like he was going to say she was popped a wheelie in the car.
her off the road. She
It's so
panicked.
funny.
And then, she got and they did it again, and they surrounded her, and that's new.
I'll do you one better, Ornery. I haven't made a single video that's a pro-Zionist video. How about you find me one? The quartering sweeping? You mean like how you're sweeping for Kino Casino, literally false flagging 5 channels? T, COG. I could pull every single one of them up if you want me to. What about the time when Andy Worski was on video admitting that he thought he was texting a minor and was trying to get with him? You gonna sweep for that? Is that something you want to be known for? I haven't seen the quartering at all even be accused of talking to a minor. Andy Worski admitted on video he thought he was talking to a minor. Have fun with that one.
New, man.
That is new.
And like, similar to you, is it like, before I sat down, I heard where you live, what the level of security that you
Instead of so
have
menacing,
or
I heard where
didn't
you live.
have, and what your perimeter of your property is like. How the hell do I know that? And how is that even remotely safe? Because you have people who now
Dang.
you basically spoke your truth, and they decided that you cannot exist. And so therefore, I don't know if it's going to happen, but for some reason, I think it's appropriate for me to say, tell you what Candace's address is,
Mm-hmm.
who lives there, and the level of security
Yeah,
she
Tim
has.
Pool
What the
doing that was
What is happening to their volume? What the heck?
one of the most.
oh,
It was
excuse
so
me.
obvious
By
what
the
he
way,
was doing.
my dad said,
What just happened? What is going on? Why is the volume dipping and why do they bump him out or beep him out? What was that?
And the level of security.
Listen to this.
Tell you what Candace's address is,
Mhm.
who lives there, and the level of security
Yeah,
she
Tim
has.
Pool
What the
doing
f
that was
what
one of the
you
most
know,
it was
What is happening in this interview? Oh my God.
excuse
so
me.
obvious
By
what
the
he
way,
was
my
doing.
dad said to me, is I have to stop saying the F word.
But it was no,
Wow.
it was like
Yeah,
seriously, that
yeah,
to me was
yeah,
like it's a declaration of war. Like
yeah.
they know I homeschool my kids, they know, and he's describing the security apparatus
Yeah.
and he's doing it in this rant, trying to be impassioned about the fact that I don't support Israel or I don't support Eric,
What is it?
whatever his
Yeah,
motivation was. There was zero reason that you would be describing the perimeter of my house
yeah,
outside of wanting someone to get harmed.
yeah.
And like I first of all, like I'm not like Tucker Carlson.
Tim Pool didn't describe. Is she talking about the other guy that was on the channel? Because Tim Pool didn't describe the outside of her house. He said that he found out that she only had one security guard or something like that. He didn't even describe your perimeter. He just said you lived in a wealthy neighborhood. That's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. And then you were calling him out, and his neighborhood, or not his neighborhood, his street got shot up, or wherever he was. That bullets went into his house. They didn't go into yours, Candace. So, I don't know. Maybe, and I wonder if it's, like, I was kind of wondering if that Nashville gang thing turned out to be, like, legit. I mean, I don't know if it is or isn't, but if it was, I imagine she sent a few gang members out there to start shooting up his place. That's what I think happened. If that were ever able to be proven, of course. I would never make an accusation saying this is definitely it without having proof, unlike Candace.
And I say to people all the time, that's why I get so worried, because when Tucker gets accosted in public, he just has this like total happy warrior demeanor. I will claw someone's eyes out for my kids. Like I am not the property to try. We will shoot you. Like I will shoot you and I will kill you and I will happily go to prison before you have one opportunity
Woo, now think about how Erica Kirk must feel.
to even make me. I'm not even going to think about whether you're going to hurt my
You
kids.
sound exactly like Melissa.
And that's me. That's just me.
By the way,
And I've said it
yeah.
over and over on my podcast. I will smile in my mugshot, okay? Because I did the right thing and I have no
Oh,
qualms
yeah,
about that. So when
I
he did
believe
that,
that.
I was like, okay, this little beanie boy, okay, little beanie boy.
Yeah,
I see
Gary's
exactly
property
what you're
got
doing. The
vandalized,
whole
yeah.
world sees what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you are doing something because you want my children to get harmed. And then if
Hey,
something
Lace,
happens to them,
Lacey,
you're going to go, well, I don't
Lace.
know how
Yeah.
that happened, as I was
Whichever one.
describing the perimeter of her home and talking about what her security is,
Yeah.
which was
Well, by the way,
inaccurate.
Candace, but that's like,
Yeah, you never
what are
described
we
the
even
perimeter
talking
of
about?
your
That's
home.
exactly why they do it.
Hmm.
Is that even if the chance is this small, the reason that they do it is exactly that, is to
Is what?
make you really afraid, not for yourself, for your 4 kids,
Hmm.
for your family, for the
Tim's place got shot up, and he has a one-year-old or 2-year-old? 2-year-old now, I think? They're completely insane.
people that work around you. It's like and by the way, I'll tell you, is that I have the same approach that I think Tucker has to it, which is, and I don't know, which is basically like, I can handle, like, I can diffuse a situation, I can do it. Melissa, he will kill you.
Yeah, I'll kill you, and I'll ask questions later.
And she did exactly the same.
That's accurate for Candace.
And you know what really worries me? Is all of a sudden, we're all talking about violence.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh,
you're talking
it's
about
so
violence. Violence is defense, but now you're talking about the violence.
Mm.
And then
Man.
they kind of like go, "Oh, you're gaslighting us. This is bullshit. You're fine. You're really rich and you this and that. You can take care of yourself." It's like, bullshit. Did you see what just happened to my best friend?
Yeah. Like, I mean, we
Like,
just
what are
watched
you talking
Charlie
about?
get, and he had a
Yeah.
full security apparatus.
Yeah.
We
Charlie Kirk was his best friend, huh?
still don't know what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
There's zero interest. That's another thing that just completely, for me, was like done with Trump whatsoever. Like, I mean, there's just no way for someone who came from the inside and watched the world.
So that's why you're done with Trump? Because Trump is not leading an investigation onto something that's already, like, in motion? There's a trial. There's an investigation still going on. But, yeah, Candace thinks, well, if it's not all public information, then they must not be doing anything.
Work that Charlie did to get these people elected. Don Jr. was like a brother to Charlie, literally like a brother to him.
Yeah.
And to see the Trump brothers, to see Donald Trump himself, Kash Patel, who Charlie pushed for him to lead the FBI, had him on his podcast. JD Vance, came out of nowhere. Charlie was not sleeping to make that happen. And to see all of these people have zero interest in the obvious holes in the story, even if ultimately the holes get filled and there's a picture that makes.
Yeah, well, guess what, Candace? If the holes get filled, you know why it gets filled. It's because of evidence that was brought forth that was not public. So now she's already trying to run cover for the trial to come up where it's going to fill and make every single story make sense. She's going to be like, watch out for that, though. It's going to make sense, but don't buy into it because it's going to make too much sense. Are you kidding me?
Sense, which I put that at a 0% chance.
Yeah, you would put that at a 0% chance. I think you're going to be surprised.
Let's just, the fact that they have zero interest and they're just accepting the narrative, what this has done to me, and I've said this, I'm just done with politics.
The narrative hasn't even been presented yet. We've got a month, and then they're going to present the entire narrative. The entire narrative in 3 days. In a trial in June. Literally next month, we're going to have it all in front of us. What are you talking about?
I'm just done with politics because I can't even begin to comprehend it. And again, that element of gaslighting that's happening here, where they're pretending that the people who are noticing that none of this is making sense are the crazy ones, and everyone else who's like, nope, turn the chapter a week later, it's all solved. And this is how it went down, and none of it makes sense, but just accept this slop. It is the most infuriating thing, and it's just fully removed the scales of my eyes, and I've stopped with this left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. I'm like, this is sheer evil versus good.
By the way,
this is sheer evil.
But by the way, we're real. Exactly.
Exactly.
It is good versus evil.
Yeah.
It is they have torn the mask off of this. I said to you before, is that
This is good versus evil. We're the good guys, by the way. I smoke crack. Yeah. There's no way, right? You definitely expect the guy smoking crack to be on the good side, don't you?
pray to God that by the end of this, that you think of me as a friend, because if anything ever happened to me, I want you and Melissa team up. You'd fit oh my
the bottom
God.
of it's not happening with Charlie Kirk.
And the criticism of you for asking the questions for someone who was like a brother to you, it's like, what the F are you talking?
Nobody has ever said anything bad about her asking questions. I don't care if Candace asks questions. I just wish she would start asking questions instead of making statements.
Talking about?
Yeah. That's the
what are you
gaslighting.
talking about?
It's like,
by the
how
way,
dare you care?
Coming from someone who you've attacked and you've politically, you've had all of your criticism, which I have no problem with, and we disagree on so many things. But I listen to you and I go, right on. Like Epstein, you want to figure out why they don't want to let the release all the Epstein files? All you got to do is literally look at a picture of Trump standing on his stage at his inauguration and look behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every single person.
What? Dude is actually just cracked out of his mind. This is getting bad. Wow.
He's protecting his donors without question.
I mean, it's crazy. Like Paolo Zampoli and this and that and the other thing and all of these things. It's like, okay. And by the way, anyway, my point is it's like, when are people going to kind of wake up to the fact, and it's not left or right. This is a really, really horrible group of people that are pulling strings.
Yeah, exactly. That's the funny thing too. Biden could have released those files. He absolutely could have released them. So while he's sitting here going, yeah, they're not going to release the files. Your dad had 4 years. 4 years to release the files. And he knew about them. Epstein died on his watch. What are you talking about? Or was it at the very end of Trump's? What year did... That was 2019 when he died, right? 2019. So it died on Trump's watch. If there was anything there, literally died in at the very end of Trump's first term, Biden could have went in and opened up all that investigation. All of it. He would have had 4 years to destroy Trump if there was anything there. It's crazy. And you're telling me Biden didn't know about the biggest story of all time when Jeffrey Epstein was found hanging in his cell? Really? Biden had no idea. Sure, that makes sense. By the way, guys, if you're new here, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys so much.
That impact us all, and they make us think that because you and I disagree on,
They make us think.
the graduated tax rate or some social issue, is that we are sworn enemies.
Mhm.
Not just, like sworn enemies, that I deserve violence.
And I could see them, and it does seem like both sides have woken up without question. My audience is now split, and I still say what I believe. I haven't changed my position on abortion. I'm Catholic. I have, there's nothing that has changed. I think they're just hearing me for the first time, and I do think there was something
Candace
about the
always
Charlie
changes her
Kirk
position. What is she
assassination
talking about?
that everyone just sort of looked up. We just sort of all looked up at the machine and was like, wait a second.
I haven't changed. It's just Trump literally has not done anything different from his first term to his second term, and I don't like Trump now. Nothing has changed from Trump. What are you talking about? Trump has not done anything different.
What is this? Because they expected Trump to be ride or die. They expected cash. I mean, wow, this is going to be solved in the clearest way possible because the entire political apparatus that has the power in the Department of Justice is in the hands of Charlie Kirk's friends. Like, that was how I felt, right? This is it. No, whoever did this is never going to get away with it because these are Charlie's
watch him
friends.
come on
And what
Tucker
did we
and
get?
tell him sneak. Oh,
They're
that'd be
the people
funny
that
if he's
Charlie
on
Kirk
Sneako.
made.
Charlie Kirk made these people. That's exactly right. Led a youth revolution to get these people elected in power. He was ride or die to
The level of disloyalty or fear, I don't know what it is,
disloyalty.
is
Disloyalty may be guided by fear, but it's still
so
disloyalty.
disturbing.
It's disturbing. And I cannot forgive Trump, the Trump family, what they have done or what they have not done for Charlie.
Can I keep one of these?
Yeah.
Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can't forgive them for what they have not done. Man, you sound like a great Christian, Candace. That's great. For something that wasn't in their control, something that they can't do, something that they have no authority over whatsoever, you cannot forgive Trump. Just an amazing Christian woman right here, you know what I mean? Mama Owlbear, the hypocrisy is crazy. Hunter is high as a kite. I agree. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. It's so crazy. Thank you so much, Mama Bear. Mama Owlbear. Hunter did not say Charlie's name. You evil POS. Yeah. It's crazy. Or Hunter,
I'm
do not
full
say
on.
it.
I'm like, call me a conspiracy. I'm like you, where I'm like, oh, what is the shame tactic of the day? You're calling me a conspiracy theorist. Great. I'm like, you'd be a fool to believe the stuff that they're telling us today. The stories are telling us. I mean, it is something that is just so disturbing. And I think that the Charlie assassination was just so crazy, like, because he was so Republican conservative, but I think it's brought people together in a productive way.
Yeah.
And
Look, I'm here, and you're here, and
This is all isn't a dream, right?
I really think that we're not unique.
I can't believe you paused
I
there.
think very, very kind of emblematic is that, like, I'm like, let's put the past, not behind us. Like, I'll explain anything you want. I'll talk about anything that you want to talk about that you still have questions about, or that anybody is it. But like, this isn't right. This we're witnessing right now is not right.
mhm.
Okay.
The level of corruption, the obfuscation, I mean, whether it's Butler or Charlie or
Butler makes no sense.
these things that it's just not right. And I mean, it's so glaringly not right. It's almost as if they're just saying,
F
like,
you.
F you.
They're not even
I don't
trying.
care.
We don't
You
even
know
get
what?
good psyops anymore, and that's what I keep saying. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
so disrespectful that we're not even getting good psyops anymore. Like, we're supposed to believe he survived 4 assassination attempts, the
Yeah.
first president that's ever survived 4 assassination attempts.
Yeah.
They lie to us about things. They make a big deal.
Do you have any evidence at all to suggest that those were fake whatsoever? Do you have any evidence to show that, like, he didn't get shot in the ear, maybe? That's an interesting claim, Candace. Like, oh, we're supposed to just believe this? Oh, Candace, we're forced to just believe you, according to you.
And then they make it want to, it's going to go away. They're going to keep pretending and telling us that this is a totally normal grieving widow. Okay, no one's buying that. Like, that something's just not right here. Everyone can see that this is not how you would react.
Well, Candace, if that were the case, I think Thomas Massey probably would have won his primary. I think people don't watch you as much as you think that they watch other people.
to your husband being shot and this sort of just, I'm fine. And like 2 weeks later, I fully accept the narrative. I have no interest in anything else. It's over. Let's close it. I forgive him. Let's move on. You're asking us to abandon our common sense and our humanity is what you're asking us to do. And
No.
that kind of seems like where we're at. Like they're insisting on this. And I'm going, where is this going to go? Because we're not
And
doing the
Candace really
thing they
is trying
want
to
us to
speak
do.
for all of us
Like
here.
they're just constantly giving us slop all the time. I mean, even the recent White House Correspondents' Dinner, there was so much theater to it after.
Yeah, it is funny. Like talking to Hunter Biden and somehow Erica Kirk comes up. That's kind of wild, right? She really cannot go a day without talking about Erica Kirk. It's crazy. This is a wild episode. This is a fun episode, guys. Thank you all for being here with this. This is probably one of the funniest things I think I've ever had the pleasure of streaming on here. This is amazing.
So much theater, and now it's kind of, okay, Secret Service maybe shot each other, and we're just going to kind of quietly move on.
No, there was a bullet hole in the wall right whenever the guy ran past. And it's the wall behind Secret Service. You could see that very clear as day.
But Trump needs a ballroom. Like, that's a normal reaction. Hey, there's a shooting duck. Hey, well, we better get...
Even if Secret Service did actually accidentally shoot themselves anyway, that's still the guy's fault that charged. He shouldn't have ran in there with weapons. They went to fire on him and other guy moved out in front of him. Sometimes things like that happen. Sometimes that happens.
Get that ballroom.
And by the way, it's going to cost $1 billion now. And by the way, it's not from donors. And by the way, we're going to do it. Like it's just like the constant. Like talk about gaslighting.
This has been just this, and we're not even. Are we even a year into Trump's second term?
We're a little over a year.
A little over a year in a second, and I don't think there's just been. I'm like, how are we going to deal with 4 years of just being gaslit every 5 seconds and told that? But MAGA, literally MAGA, is not MAGA anymore. And what was actually never Trump, which was actually pro Hillary Clinton, if you think about it, that's now MAGA. It's literally people who have been against Trump the entire time who are lecturing.
She is insane. She is absolutely... She hit whatever Hunter Biden brought into this studio. She took a big old hit of, I can tell you that. Miss Manners for 20, thank you so much. Milk Bar's new video is genius, as always, showing Candy being a hypocritical narcissist. I guess she wants to be like the Tate and Bidens in their behaviors. She's gaslighting her entire audience like Hunter is a good guy. I absolutely agree. It is crazy watching this right now. Thank you so much, Miss Manners. I really appreciate that.
Us about this stuff, like the Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros, and like we're MAGA, and the Laura Loomers, like, we're MAGA now. Okay, great. Then I'm not MAGA. Like I've never agreed with these people. I am opposed to the.
There you go. Never agreed with these people. Opposed to them. She's never agreed with MAGA. I'm clipping that one for sure later on.
These people's ideas. I am opposed to unleashing an actual lunatic who has had to be Baker acted and put on Psych 5150 holds by her own parents who fear her. I'm opposed to that actually being unleashed upon the population.
Melissa always uses that 5150. I had that. She goes, that person's going to get 5150. And I go, what are you talking about? What's 5150?
It's like, and you're telling us this is MAGA now. Like this is what we do, and so it's been a challenging time because you do have to have like the humility to admit that I'm quite embarrassed
Candace,
about it.
The President of the United States of America has posted images of himself as a king, I think, half a dozen times now.
Yeah.
Like, when are people going to wake up and go, okay, like, if that's what you want. And by the way, if that's what
he's posted himself as a king?
You want.
Really?
Then, you know what? I know that there is the vast majority of Americans, but some that are really going to really have a problem.
Yeah.
Really have a problem.
I am
and
MAGA.
God forbid. And this whole thing is that we all need allies now because they do have an enormous amount of power. One of the things that I always think about is that it's so easy to silence people, but it would be particularly easy, for instance, to go like if someone like the whole cocaine in the White House thing. By the way, I look at your premise is that like you can believe whatever you want to believe, but I know my truth, and that's all I can do.
And you preferred crack anyways.
100%. Okay, and I.
Okay. Well, there's that.
Would
The
not,
evidence is
and by the way,
overwhelming. He
I would
preferred
not
crack.
have forgotten it in a
Man, I wish this
cubby.
would load.
Not if you're crawling on
to
the
go
floor.
into the situation room, which I've never been in before.
Situation room.
Okay, exactly.
I like
mean,
it.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, but my point
Situation room.
is that what if they, what if I'm flying back to LA and I go through security and they find drugs in my bag? Who would believe me that I'm clean and sober? Who would possibly believe me?
No one.
No one. No one. And I could take drug tests and I could prove it and I could, I mean, literally.
Okay, so October 2025, during the nationwide No Kings protest, Trump posted one AI-generated video on Truth Social showing himself wearing a crown and flying a fighter jet, labeled King Trump, dumping brown liquid on protesters. That is when he uploaded himself as a king, and that is probably one of the funniest things I've ever had to read out loud in my life. I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. Like, this isn't just a president going around declaring he's king or anything like that, or posting tens of hundreds, or not tens of hundreds, but he said 10 images of himself as a king. He literally was dumping poop on a protest while he's wearing a crown called King Trump while he's flying a fighter jet. That is a joke. Come on. Wombat Mommy for the 5 says Candace needs to stop saying gaslighting because, what's up with her saying gaslighting and then Hunter Biden just what is she using some sort of hypnosis on the guy or something? It's really weird. Gaslighting is when you say TPUSA was involved in Charlie's murder, then say no, I didn't. Exactly. That is a great example. Thank you so much, Wombat Mommy. Let's see here. Yeah, it's just so crazy.
I pack my bag in front of a witness everywhere I go, so that at least I would be able to say that. Here's the crazy part.
Okay.
Is the idea that I would think that there is a government in power capable of doing that.
Is he reading a teleprompter? It just dawned on me why he keeps stopping. Is he reading a teleprompter right now? Is that what's going on?
Is everything anyone needs to know about where we are.
Yeah.
The idea that you feel unsafe in the United States of America because you disagree with the current administration on a issue that 70% of Americans agree with you on.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all can agree is that we need to stop the wholesale murder of a population in Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you think about my father's policy as it relates, I always say to people, one thing he didn't do? He didn't greenlight to turn Gaza into a Trump golf course. With the maitre d' being Jared Kushner.
It's actually funny. A vast majority of the damage that was done in Gaza was actually done on Biden's watch. I saw an entire time-lapse video on Google Maps and stuff of where a lot of the damage was, and it was while Biden was president. So, I don't know what he's talking about, because apparently Biden did gaslight that, or greenlight that. Not gaslight. Now you guys got me saying gaslight. Apparently Biden did greenlight that, because most of the damage happened. Because think about it. Gaza attacked. Hamas attacked Israel in 2023. Who was president? Was it Trump? Nope. It was Biden. And he was president in 2024. And he was president all the way up until January 17th, I think it was, 2025. So the vast majority of damage was on Biden's watch. It's really just unbelievable how stupid these people think we are.
With $4 billion in Saudi money.
It's despicable.
Despicable.
Yeah. It's just like they did the deal before. I mean, when he posted that, I'll never forget that, posted the Trump, here's what Gaza could be, and I could have my name in a building, and I was like...
But literally, that's what they're doing.
This is dead children. You're literally...
No, those are buildings, Candace. The children were allowed to leave when they passed out the leaflets. It said, leave, we're bombing these areas.
He's saying this is all going to be fine because we're going to get up a Trump resort or something. Positively despicable. I mean, just positively despicable, tasteless, indefensible.
And
And
it's not a joke, though,
yes,
is my
and
point.
it wasn't a joke, and that is the deal.
And that's what they're doing.
Mhm.
Literally
I
doing.
would have loved to have seen Candace Owens debate Charlie Kirk on this.
And by the way, they're doing it out in the open. I mean, it's not as if they're hiding it in any way.
Mhm.
I mean, they are making deals as they go
Let's
through.
see
And,
what
like
percentage.
I always say to people, it's like, you had such a problem with me. I didn't do any
I'll
business.
take the paintings.
I didn't do a single business. Every single person that bought a painting from me during the time my dad was there in office. I had 2 shows and probably sold a total of 20 paintings, and 13 of them to my best friend. You know? And that's it. That's it.
Okay.
And you had a problem, not you. Well, you too, but had a problem with
Well,
me
F
as
you,
being this
just right to her
emblematic
face.
emblem of corruption. These
Oh,
guys, okay,
this is great.
Don Jr. got the single largest loan guarantee from the Department of Defense ever handed out of over $600 million for an energy company, a fusion energy company, of which he has zero experience in. They have gotten Jared Kushner, who's never run a
There we go. So, approximately 69 to 70% of structure buildings in the Gaza Strip were damaged or destroyed by the end of Biden's presidency in January of 2025. Huh. Wow. So, you're telling me that 29 to 30% of all the damage in Gaza was under Trump's presidency? Wow. Fact checks are fun, aren't they, Biden? That is amazing. Absolutely amazing how they want to leave that part out. But okay.
private equity fund, has now a $4 billion private equity fund with 80% of the money coming from the Middle East, of which he continues to raise as he is the ambassador at large on behalf of the Trump administration, not as a political appointee, but simply as a son-in-law of the president, to come to a peace deal of a war in Iran that they started that has cost the economy billions and billions of dollars
Oh,
for a war
sorry, guys.
nobody
I had
wanted.
to screenshot a.
That every president before them,
Okay.
before him, was pressured by the Israelis to get into. And every single one, regardless what you think of them, from Jimmy Carter, through President Reagan, through both of the Bushes, through Clinton, through my dad, said, you're out of your damn minds. And here's the reason why. This is what's going to happen. So who benefits right now? You know who benefits? The people that are making trades of billions of dollars on market manipulation that occur.
Insider
we all know
trading has
it's
been-
literally out in the open. But who's gonna, you know,
There we
who's
go.
gonna?
You will
do
not
anything
get a
about it?
disagreement out of me. Like
Who's gonna
so far off the Trump train. He's posting.
No,
me
by the way, and I'm not even
on
saying
Trump-
it.
like
for the,
it's
for the
embarrassing.
purposes of, like,
But it
yeah.
is embarrassing. It is embarrassing because we got behind him as the answer to corruption. We thought he was going to be this outsider. You know, he's going to go to DC. He's going to drain the swamp, and then he became the Loch Ness monster. You know, and so it's like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that swamp, but you get swimming in it, and
Yeah.
it's like people do this. And yes, it has been for Israel. Not to say that Trump wasn't pro-Israel. Most presidents actually are pro-Israel when they go in there, and if
Every
they go
president.
anti-Israel, they kind of end up dead.
except for Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the only president that even somewhat pushed back on Israel. We already looked this up. We have had no presidents that were anti-Israel in this country. Jimmy Carter was the closest one. So what are you talking about? Joe Biden is one of the biggest supporters of Israel in general by his own admission.
But it's or they sort of get kicked out. If you want to talk about Nixon and the scandal of Watergate, which I've revisited and did think that had a lot more to do with his shifting viewpoints. But
She's glazing Richard Nixon. If the person has done something awful, you better believe Candace Owens will be there to defend them.
that wasn't the issue. Like I was
Wow.
pro-Israel, generally speaking, and not very educated about the topic. It's this level of corruption that you're talking about when you are willing to let real Americans be harmed, their day-to-day lives be harmed. They're suffering at the gas pump. Their groceries are expensive. All at the so that you could further enrich. How much more money does Trump family need? I mean, just like literally, how much more money do you need like that you're going to allow this to happen? Don't you just want to have now the legacy of being a good president? I mean, this is
Yeah, I was saying to you about like the cryptocurrency thing. I think there's incredible promise in cryptocurrency. I believe in the meme token.
Oh, who would have guessed that the leftists would have been like, oh man, we should definitely push everything digital. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not against it, I guess. But I just found it to be a little funny.
I'll do something one day to create a community, and there's really good reasons to do it. There's really interesting ways, and I know people can disagree. I just happen to be kind of like a
crypto guy.
I mean, just because of my I think it is incredible freedom in a world in which we've been controlled by banks. So if you have the same problem that I have with big pharma banks and the Fed and these
just because you cannot smoke crack in the middle of a bank lobby does not mean that it was the bank's fault that you got kicked out.
This money come from kind of thing. Is it like I truly believe in what Satoshi?
Oh, see you later, Stargazer.
Kind of the manifesto of Bitcoin. But that's just me. Regardless, my point is that they had such an opportunity.
I am greatly honored that you sacrificed your battery in my name. Thank you.
They had such an opportunity. I'll give you this. I want you to look at the conspiracy theories. Go look up.
Here we go.
Gal Luft and Alexander Smirnov. They're the two principal individuals.
Okay.
That made the only.
They're the ones who killed the people on the Titanic, supposedly, right?
Claim that people hung their hat in Congress and elsewhere as it relates to my dad and corruption.
Hey, thank you, Eclectic.
One of them is a fugitive from justice wanted by Interpol and the United States government, Gal Luft, who is a former IDF
thank you, Nikki.
Officer who is believed to be living in Israel as a fugitive, which the Israelis will not help us locate.
Oh,
and the other one is Alexander Smirnov, who is a known Israeli intelligence agent. Those are the two people who was in a prison in the United States, so serving 6 years, and they can't find him. Bureau of Prison can't find him in his prison, in the prison. He is on furlough, but no one knows where he's been furloughed to. The only passport that he has is an Israeli passport.
Okay, that means he managed to escape from the prison. That can happen sometimes, especially when you're an intelligence agent. You probably know how to break out. You probably know how to get a few guys in and out of places, maybe. I don't know. So there's a conspiracy. Could have been the government. Could have been some sort of operation. Who knows exactly how this happened?
There are forces that I used to say, oh, this is bullshit. Have you ever read The Devil's Chessboard?
Yes. Alan Dulles, looking into the CIA, I read this book, Chaos, that then led me to The Devil's Chessboard. It's actually on our list for books to read for the book club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll knock you. Chaos, CIA, the Manson stuff. That was the one that knocked.
I was surprised to see that he was surprised about Candace having that, to be honest. Yeah. Hey, Jay Witt. Hey, thank you for being here, man. May you never have to interview a crackhead to remain relevant. Great work. Thank you so much. I sure hope I don't have to. Or at least if I do, I'm not going to be glazing him. It's just, what a wild take, you know? What an absolutely wild take. He was going to get his laptop fixed, but Hunter got, yeah, that's a great one. Good part of the song.
To me, and I was like, what the heck is our
Thank you
government?
so much,
what is going on?
Awesome to see you,
and you realize that anyway,
what the CIA is capable of, and you think it's all
definitely go check out Jay Witt's channel. For sure. Dude has an amazing channel. Way better than mine, by far.
Conspiracy, and I think that's what they're fearful of, is that people will have awakened to that. And so when they're kind of trying to throw red meat now, which you see them doing, the left, the right, it's just not landing the same anymore, because we just realize that there is a devil's chessboard.
That's why I've, in terms of the left, like, you think I'm going to defend
there's a movie called something like that.
the DC elite of the left? They crushed my dad. They when they saw their chance, they did everything in their power to push him out. You know why? Because he was never part of that club. He was never part of the Epstein class. He lived in Delaware. everybody that think you can think whatever you want about my dad is that literally my dad never bought a stock or a bond because he made a commitment in 1972 when he was 30 years old after Watergate never
You
to
guys are too
own a
nice.
stock or a bond. And he did. My dad was the poorest person ever to enter the presidency and the poorest person, not poorest. I mean, he had money. He'd written a book and he'd done well, but he had the least amount of wealth entering the presidency in modern years and since 1900.
Your dad was given a mansion in the 70s. What are you talking about? The famous DuPont mansion? What? Dude, the only way someone would be that stupid to say something like that would have to be on crack. Like, there's no doubt that this dude sparked one up in the back, and he was just like, yeah, I'm just going to let this fly out. You know we can check, right?
And anyway,
Who
and
was
when he
the
was in the United
least-
States Senate, he was not only the poorest man in the Senate, not poor again, he made over $170,000 in average over the course.
Harry S. Truman is widely considered the least wealthy U.S. president in modern history. James A. Garfield, then Andrew Johnson, followed by Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant. There's quite a bit more presidents in between. Let's see. Order of least rich president to most rich president. Let's see where Biden falls in the list. Okay. Okay, can I have a full list? Let's see. Chart shows net worth of U.S. presidents before and after. Oh, okay, after office. I think I know what Hunter was trying to say then. Maybe he meant like he was the only president to lose money after leaving office or something? Let's see. Net worth before. Ooh, wow. Bill Clinton was worth $1.3 million and he left. He was the most rich, probably one of the most rich. Wow. That's crazy. He left with $120 million afterwards. And then Obama, let's see, was worth $8 million and he left his presidency at $10 million. So that's not true, Hunter. He left with more money. And $10 million is worth a lot of money. Barack Obama was worth $1.3 million, and then he became worth $70 million. George Bush was worth $20 million, and then he was worth $40 million at the end of his presidency. George Bush Sr. was only worth $4 million and left with $23 million. So, yeah, there's that. Wow, Bush Sr. actually has a pretty clean growth. Ronald Reagan was worth $10 million and exited $15 million. However, he was also a very famous actor at that time, wasn't he? So I think that's a little different. Jimmy Carter was worth $2 million and left at $10 million. Gerald Ford, 1.4. Let me put this on the screen. What am I thinking? Being silly right now, aren't I? I didn't have to read this all out like that. Fix my screens here. John F. Kennedy. Man, he went in there worth $100 million. That's crazy. That's crazy money for back then. I didn't know the Kennedys were that rich. Where's my cut? Holy crap. But he left it $100 million. Man. Let's see here. $14 million to $20 million. Richard Nixon, $2 million to $15 million. You can see the corrupt ones really easy on the maps here for the most part. Like Lyndon Johnson, $14 million, $20 million. I don't know if that's really much of an increase. That could just be with property, you know what I mean? Ronald Reagan. Let's see. Is there anyone else? Actually, the Kennedy, obviously. That was very obvious, though. He was never corrupt. He wouldn't have been shot if he wasn't corrupt. You know what I mean? Or he wouldn't have been shot if he was corrupt. Because, Joe Biden, so? Apparently nothing. I believe that, though. I think we literally watched the Democratic Party make millions off of him. I think Joe Biden was definitely some sort of weird robo-slave. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's just in the last few years. It doesn't show Trump, though. That's kind of interesting. Why doesn't it show Trump? He had Trump definitely. Why did they not show Trump's net worth right here? Or how much he was worth before and afterward? Trump would have been the only one that lost money. Trump would have been the only one on this list to lose money, and that's why they don't show it. Why did they remove Trump? That's crazy. I guess maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, they removed him because he hasn't fulfilled his second term yet. But Trump's not on that list, and he was before Biden. That's kind of crazy. That's definitely a very left-wing biased site, I think. I should have went back and looked at what site it was. I'll look at my history.
Course of 45 years, but not just the Senate, but 535 members of Congress. He was
Trump should have been out from his first term.
never a part of that club. And that's what I wish, like, you knew. That's what I wish they knew. And I am not here in any way to defend, the DC elites of my own party. I think that they're just as complicit in all this bullshit.
No, without question, like the Nancy Pelosi's. What's your opinion on Kamala then? Did you like her?
Look,
Like you didn't.
Yeah.
You definitely
No,
didn't.
you know what? I did, and I don't wanna say anything. I didn't know the vice president that well,
Okay.
I mean, and she was always nice to me personally,
Did you ever hand her a drink?
and so that was my, but I didn't have the other thing that people think that I was, like, living at the White House. I literally didn't leave my home because it was really hard to leave. I stayed, in the hill that I lived on until the fires came. Uh, that's where I was. I was with Bo and Melissa, and trying to make it through, and not trying to make it through, thriving, making it through what would otherwise have seemed like a horrible, horrible life from any outsider's perspective. So I'm not dodging the question, but I don't want to shit on the vice president because I have no
Yeah, I'll
reason
try to get a thumbnail probably.
necessarily.
She did nothing personal to you. She was nice
He's-
to
he's
you.
creepy
Never did
in this
anything
episode.
personal to me.
Yeah.
I think that she is.
Creepy
Yeah,
looking.
so-
Just like just
Kind
the way he
of
looks in the
machine
camera.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even that he's a creepy looking guy. He's a pretty normal looking dude. It's just the way he his eyes flare out.
And I don't.
Like he'll just widen them.
In terms of all of that
It's
stuff,
unnatural looking.
I think I'm tough enough to realize that that's part of, like, when you get to politics at that level, people kind of I think have this misperception of me is that for 50 years I was a crack addict and I was that picture.
Mhm.
I mean, I went to Yale Law School. I served in the Clinton administration. I was chairman of the board of the UN World Food Program, which is the largest humanitarian organization in the world. I served on
Board of Burisma.
16 boards before I ever joined the board of Burisma or anything. I taught at Georgetown I was, taught at the master's program of the School of Foreign Service for 4 years.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And
That was something that surprised me too, not to be rude, but I thought you were dumb.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe because Meghan McCain was on The View
Wow.
for too long or something, and I was like, here we go.
You can tell Candace has a little bit of spite towards him, and I wonder if it's because she had to do this interview. Diana Cooper for the $2 says, crackpot and crackhead show. Correct. Absolutely correct. Thank you for that. That's a good one. And you guys are great tonight. This is great. I enjoy streams like this for sure. And I hope there's more of this. Because it's just so much more fun to make fun of her for all this. It's so easy.
Just like rich political kids. She's just so dumb. And
Wait, what did he say the year? Bo passed away in 2015. What year did he say? I missed that part. I can just rewind. We got time.
Yeah, she's just
We're all here together having fun.
boards before I ever joined the board of Burisma or anything organization. I was chairman of the board of the UN World Food Program, which is the largest humanitarian organization in the world. I served on 16 boards before I ever joined the board of Burisma or anything. I taught at Georgetown I was, taught at the master's program of the School of Foreign Service for 4 years.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And
That was something that surprised me too, not to be rude, but I thought you were dumb.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe because Meghan McCain was on The View for too long or something, and I was like, here we go, just like rich political kids.
When he traveled with his dad on Air Force One. Yeah, it would have been Air Force Two, but he was from 2012. That's right. So yeah, he would have been on Air Force Two. He would have, if that's what he's thinking of, Air Force Two. He would have been, but Air Force One. Yeah, Bo would have been gone. So crazy.
It's just she's just so
I
dumb,
know. Yeah.
and yet she's just always here, like, they're just giving her stuff, and
Yeah.
so I think there's also that perception where it's their
Yeah. By the
rich
way,
kids
I
don't work,
always
aren't
yeah,
smart,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I was kind of expecting you
yeah,
to be sort of a Meghan McCain,
yeah,
and then when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, wait, he actually has brain cells," which is, by the way,
yeah,
remarkable that you didn't kill them all off when you
yeah,
were on
yeah.
crack.
I told
S
you before that I think they got pickled all the vodka. Yeah.
or something like
It's
that, so I was like, "This is
preservation. Yeah,
interesting, he's not a
yeah,
total idiot."
yeah.
So
Well,
there are the stereotypes of rich kids who
so
just keep getting
okay.
handed all of
Candace, I don't know if you're watching the same interview we're watching, but this dude's retarded. Are you kidding me? Like, there is no way he can't. He talks like a crackhead with his jaw locked. And you're telling me that this dude's sharp as a tack, right? It wouldn't be the first Biden that I heard that about.
these
So
awards in life.
I say to everybody is that if there's anybody in the history of America that benefits from low expectations, it's me. Is that people are like, oh my God, like you aren't
You're
a
not dumb.
complete moron.
I did it.
You haven't pulled out your crack pipe yet, which
Yeah.
is really crazy. But that gives you an idea, by the way, of the level to which I was muted because they didn't want it. And you have to subvert yourself to a machine to a certain degree, and like
Yeah, just think. For some reason, Candace seems to think that Hunter Biden here is more intelligent than Gary. That's crazy, Obscure? Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. That's a good point. She really does treat people that are intelligent like they're below her. And that's just the ultimate insult, I think. I think she really is kind of trying to stick it out to the people she's called dumb and is like, wow, Hunter Biden's just so smart. Looks over her shoulder,
it wasn't up to me if I wanted to go out and like rail at the machine or rail at go on and
Yeah, he did
argue
have a
with
son
Jake
in 2020.
Tapper,
Wasn't it
you know,
like a
Because it would harm your
19-year-old?
dad.
yeah, because
Wait a
then
minute.
I become even more of the story. But you give up your voice in that way, and it's incredibly emasculating. And particularly when the portrait that is being painted of you as
Oh, she's
a
25.
ne'er-do-well that never did anything in their life, like
Ew.
you want to talk about experience?
The lady's 25 years old. That's who he's with.
Go look at my goddamn resume. I have 10 times more experience in 10 times more things.
Not that
And I
far
know
off.
I am
Well,
10 times more well.
yeah, there's definitely a maturity gap between 19 and 25, I'd say for sure. Because it was like, when I was 24, things kind of clicked in my head that that I had, for some reason, was being a stupid kid. Like the month before that, it was just right around that time. I couldn't pinpoint which month it was, but it just kind of clicked sometime when I was 24, and I was just like, yo, I'm pretty childish. What's going on here? Is this when I snap out of it? And that's just kind of what it seemed like. Like, I didn't realize how dumb I was. And after 24, I just really started, being more of an adult in general. It was kind of crazy. So for her to be 25, maybe, I don't know. I think it's different for everyone. It's still remarkably young compared to, 56, I think is how old he is.
Read than either one of the Trump boys, regardless of what you think about them. Now, you know what I can't do?
Let's see.
Is that I'm not a great shot.
56,
And
yeah.
and I don't know anything about real estate.
Mhm.
And I don't know anything about making money, and that's why I'm about, a few million dollars in debt. And I don't. And I need to change.
What? Dude, you're a few $1 million in debt? People don't get a few $1 million in, like, that's not how that works. You can't get a few $1 million in debt like that. Unless he's like foreclosed, or not well, maybe you'd call it foreclosed. If he has to foreclose on his home or something. Well, even his home shouldn't be worth millions. So maybe on a business, maybe he had to go bankrupt. Like, but even so, I don't know. That would still put him in the millions. You know what I mean? He knows how to make money. He's got money. There's no doubt about that.
Change that one around.
Not to mention, when you go millions of dollars in debt, when people say that, oh, millions of dollars in debt, really they just took out a loan on their property to have liquid cash. They could just pay that off at any time and then refinance the house, stuff like that. You're not really in debt.
in some way at the age of 56. But the portrait that was painted on me has given me this incredible gift. So that I can
Oh,
walk into your house, into your studio, and I guarantee the people
Mind blown.
afterwards are gonna go, "I still think he's but my god, he's not. You know what? Like, can you believe it? He didn't go do lines in the bathroom."
No, I was that was my reaction when I
Yeah,
watched Andrew Callan interview. I was like, wow, he's actually thought through his addiction. He's talking about the ritual. Like, this guy's not an idiot. And
yeah.
you're right. I guess you do benefit from having exceedingly low expectations.
Exactly.
But it was
he's so intelligent, he just can't remember to not cuss on a stream where you strictly said don't cuss. You're right.
sort
Yeah,
of like you said the first time you spoke, and of course you did sort of have to be quiet because otherwise you would have definitely
yeah,
hurt your father. And there's a machine that's kind of bigger
yeah.
than you that you have to
By the
submit
way, the
yourself
rage
to.
was there. You could tell that I even went back. My dad just said, "Honey, that was really beautiful parts of it. Did you have to use the F word that much?" I was like, "Coming from you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Which the thing about my dad, though,
And
is
then he did the whole like head bob thing, you know?
he, uh he, at least from a different generation, he never talked to us that way, ever. Like, even around my mom or, but anyway, so I'm trying to curb the F word for for my mom and dad.
All right, you guys, summertime expenses.
Oh, good lord.
Start home
I was a
loans.
wait,
How old
yeah,
were you, by the way, when your mother died in the car accident?
just about 3. I was a
Wow.
month away from 3, Bo was a month away from 4. My sister, Caspi, was about 18 months, and, who my oldest daughter's named after, Naomi, uh, and, yeah.
Do you have any memory of her?
Yeah, it's I don't know, for certain whether the things that I have, which I believe are memories, are memory, because it would be very rare, at that age. I have distinct memories of my mom carrying us around in picnic basket, and, and I even have a distinct memory of the car, not the accident, but of the car. Um, uh, but I don't know if it's because I've been, you know, so steeped in stories. The beautiful part, like everything, there's a. Have you ever read any of the Gnostic Gospels?
No.
You really should, because I know you're.
I don't I'll be honest, I don't even know what they're talking about right now. This is droning. It's nonsense.
Uh, I've listened to you talk about your Catholicism and your faith, and
And I'm like a toddler in the faith, and there's
yeah,
so much.
yeah.
It's like so
So
rich.
it's really cool. There's the one of the things that uh, I've always been a student of, because when I first went to Georgetown, the 2 closest people after I graduated Georgetown were 2 Jesuit priests.
I mean, somehow he got from like straight up talking about how his mother passed to just up into this. It's just, oh man. They don't really have to drone this part out. She could have asked him about Barisma and stuff. She just let him have a pass completely on that. That's kind of crazy. Like, she's not pushing back on any of the things Hunter Biden was accused of. That's really, it's really telling. It really is telling what side Candace Owens is truly on. And for some reason, her fans are going to just absolutely eat this up. And that's scary. That's really scary to know.
One was named Ted Disiak, and another one was Bill Watson. And both Father Watson and Father Disiak led me into this idea of service. I started a thing called the Jesuit International Volunteers, with Father Watson. Excuse me, Father Disiak, and then I went to the JBC because of Father Watson, which is like Domestic Peace Corps, and I did that for a year. And then when I opened up my own law firm, all my clients were Jesuit universities, because I was friends with presidents of the universities that were just like 5 or 6 years older than me. That were now becoming presidents of St. Joe's and Granton and Loyola and all these Jesuit universities, Detroit Mercy. And,
Okay.
but
Okay.
anyway, the Gnostic Gospels. The
Yeah.
Gnostic Gospels were, they were found, in Naj Hammadi, and they were written in the period between, Christ's death and the first 2 centuries. And there's the Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Philip, and Constantine. And now I'm gonna do this, boring the hell
No,
out of
I'm
her.
very interested in this. This
Constantine,
is
Emperor
I'm
Constantine
not.
converted
Mhm.
to
I'm
Christianity.
Yep,
really
the end.
genuinely
But what
not.
he did,
This
and really what it
sucks.
was about, was not a true transformation of faith. It was a way to consolidate power. So he made the Christian, bishops who were, 200 years into the very, very early church.
All right.
He made the Christian bishops his lieutenants and enforcers as it related to, the religion, so that he can control
This
the
is
more
a
radical elements of it.
fascinating
And
interview,
so
guys.
that is when
I've
they
learned so much.
came to an adoption of just
I'm
4
glad we
gospels.
came here to get like a Joe Rogan like breakdown of like some Catholic history here on how they like separated out these priests and all this other stuff. This is great. What does any of this have to do with Hunter Biden being Hunter Biden? I'm not interested in any of this stuff that you're talking about. I want to know what was going on in their country. What the heck? This is just like friendly, fun time. Sit down. Like, look at my next new guest, the famous author Hunter Biden. Tell us about your biography. And it's like, no, you know why people are watching this. And she is trying so hard to humanize this guy. Not that he's been dehumanized per se, but she's like going, look, guys, this is a wonderful human being here. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, this dude was a crackhead that abused women and kids. And she's glazing him to her audience. And I am in total shock. I am almost afraid to read the comments at the end of this.
Mm.
And, 'cause there's all of these other writings that became, that you could get excommunicated for, promoting. That is really beautiful, portraits of, like, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene
Mm.
and Jesus's relationship with Mary Magdalene. But anyway, it's not a gospel, but it is one of the texts. I think it's called, the Acts of John. There is a thing that Christ says, and he says, I'm paraphrasing, "You must learn to suffer as I do in order to be able not to suffer." And that is the greatest lesson of everything, is not having gratitude for all the good things in my life, for having immense gratitude for all of my life. Like, I wouldn't be here. We couldn't have this honest conversation. I couldn't get to know you as a human being if every single thing didn't occur
Mm.
behind it. I would not feel this gift of being alive on a daily basis the way that I do if I hadn't overcome committing suicide dozens of times in
What kind
motel
of watch
rooms,
is he wearing?
in places that
Let me
I could never afford to be found dead.
kind of watch is that? You guys ever seen that before? It looks pretty nice.
You
Kind
know,
of curious.
and it's that piece of life that, like, the only way I got it is when they just tore off all my clothes, tarred and feathered me, and put me in the center of town and said, "Look at him."
I don't want to relive your fantasy, dude. We don't have to go over that, man.
And I survived. When you survive that, you kinda go, "What am I gonna do with my life?" Well, number one thing I wanna do with my life is, number one, take care of me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
take care
well,
of me
that
I
was
feel like I
obvious.
yeah.
have to say, like, I'm really sorry that I contributed to that. Like, I just feel really shitty. Like, I feel guilty because, like,
She is now actually apologizing, but only to a guy that she should not be apologizing to. Candace Owens' very first apology, by the way. Very first apology. I almost wonder if Candace is being like held captive by the left now or something. You know what I mean? And they're like, hey, you're going to apologize for the first time in your life, and it's going to be to a, Democrat. Like, you know what I mean? This is crazy, right? Crazy.
Hearing you talk about, I mean, basically having the worst moments of your life. Like, I always speak about on my show how a lot of these kids growing up aren't going to even know what it was like before social media, where you could just make a mistake and like have that be over, and you got to grow up. And now it's like they're digging and they're finding people's
Mm.
tweets from when they're 17. They're an idiot. They wrote the N word once, and they like want to hang them when they're 40. And I just I just saw you as a caricature, and it was definitely,
Caricature.
like I said, like feeling gaslit by the political machine, convinced that it was just the left that partook in this political machine. And I just like really want to say, like, genuinely, like, I'm so sorry that I just didn't even consider he's a crackhead. And like,
Look,
like that's actually a very relatable
I'm not,
thing. And he
yeah.
shouldn't be,
Well, I bet it's relatable for you. I do bet that, Candace. I have no doubt. Oh, oopsie poopsie.
like to have that is just
Yeah.
unbelievable to consider
Well,
every worst thing that you've ever done.
I am, like I told you before we started, I cry very easily.
But I do. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's not who I want to be, and I think I've
Yeah.
come a long way from that in general. And like, but I did partake in just the inhumanity of just look at this guy at the worst moment of his life, like with prostitutes. He's on crack. He's on drugs, and
Yeah.
we should make fun of him because it makes us feel good, or it makes us feel like we're somehow beating the machine. And that it was, I think, a really
No, it was the fact that a crackhead was on the board of Burisma while a crackhead and had no business being on that board whatsoever. He's incredibly corrupt, had one of the most corrupt presidents of all time in office. Like, and you're not even asking him, like, okay, so what was really up with your dad in office? Did he have dementia or anything like that? You're just letting him off the hook completely of every single thing that took place for those 4 years. And you're sitting here apologizing to the guy now. You haven't done anything to push back on any of the accusations. You didn't bring up his daughter that he is estranged with that he doesn't accept. You didn't bring up anything about any of the wrongdoings that Hunter Biden did. I mean, it's crazy.
warped viewpoint. And hearing you speak about it today, I'm just like, wow, that is so gross that I particularly.
You have so much, and I mean this in a good way, so much power. Because I think
Yeah, I'm sure that was somehow taken wrong. What?
that your audience absolutely trusts you. And the reason that they trust you is because you've shown an enormous amount of courage of speaking your mind.
It's almost
Partic-
like he was dog whistling there about how she has, like, command over her audience.
Particularly as it related to someone that you love like a brother. And everything that has transpired since then, which is a immediate rejection of power and an immediate rejection of and knowing that you were just going to get the shit beat out of you. And for you to say that to me, I
Yeah,
truly
Malufson,
mean it. Just from
I
a
understand.
purely selfish point of view, it means the world. And
Just no one
and
deserves
that it was, and I didn't. I truly didn't come here for that. I came here because you know what?
No.
I ask forgiveness every day,
Oh, really?
without any expectation that I will be forgiven.
From the
But
mafia your dad served?
I know the people that I hurt, and and I still do, and I'm not even remotely perfect, and I still screw up, and and but God, if we could have this conversation and genuinely, authentically believe that, like, I think just opens the door for and a few other people without being, with all humility, like maybe a few other people.
And there is a freedom in it too. Like, there's a freedom
Okay.
that your worst moments have just been.
Did anybody get
Yeah.
that?
There's nothing
Total.
else.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
like
Like,
you got me butt naked up with
Yeah.
with a crack pipe. So
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
survived it, and so
Yeah.
you have it, and
yeah,
it allows you to kind of return
Yeah.
to who you are, because it's
Yeah.
addiction is.
yeah.
I wouldn't wish it. I always say, like, people growing up and seeing what it's done to families and seeing a lot of stuff when I was younger, like, really made me, like, again, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I can't even imagine.
Imagine if you could talk about it. Imagine if you could have openly talked about it, and the person that you were confronting or doing it is, like, were able to say, like, "This is" like, "We gotta do something about this. Come on, everybody, let's do something about it." I wanna start an aftercare program for people for free because the biggest thing that happens is people
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. You're rich enough to do it, but you're not gonna do it. Also, like, do you ever notice he just kind of talks around in circles, and then he's sitting there locking his jaw up in the middle of talking, and he's doing this? It's really hard to watch.
go to detox and they go to recovery center, or rehab, and they get out after 30 days, and they got nowhere to go. And so one of the things that I'm trying to do is start a free aftercare program. And there's a couple. There's one in Kentucky that is a really beautiful model. But if I could do that, I work with an organization called Boston Universal. I'm the development director there, and they do
Boston
tenants'
Universal.
rights and and homeless prevention. Like I know we
Whatever they gave Biden during his presidency, they're now giving this dude. Like, his brain is just mushing out. What is happening?
all can agree on. We can all agree on that, that people can't afford to pay their rent and need to be able to figure out a way to stay in their houses before
Okay.
it becomes a mother with 3 kids that are homeless.
Mm.
We know where that leads. But these kinds of things is what I wanna use, what I'm doing, I wanna do that. I also wanna make a living. I also wanna be able to pay my debt. I also wanna be able
What is going on, guys? I'm not losing my mind watching this, right? Am I going crazy, or is he just, like, not even making sense anymore?
to do the things that I have, I also still wanna make art, you know? I started, finally, like, "You know what? I'm gonna put all my art on my website, and people can come look at it. If they wanna buy it, they can buy it." And,
Mhm.
because I don't really believe art becomes art until you share it with somebody. Until
How
there's
do
an
we get to
observer
here?
of it. So I can sit in my studio, which is my garage.
Is is
But
this him, like, plugging his art on her channel to, like, get people to go buy it?
I wanna do all of those things, and I wanna be able to do it, and I wanna be able to talk to you. You know what I mean? I wanna be
It's like a 5-year-old. I'm gonna grow up, and I'm gonna be an astronaut, and then I'm gonna go out of space, and then I'm gonna get hit by a rocket.
able to talk to the people. I wanna talk to, like, that family, necessary conversation,
Mm.
and say to the mom, like, "The stories your daughter tells you about the way that you adopted animals, it really moves me.
Mm.
The fact that you think I'm the spawn of the devil, I and I
This dude's crazy. Wow. Watch this guy actually be the guy running for president that's gonna surprise us, quote unquote, Nick Fuentes. You know what I mean? During the Steven Crowder show when he's like, "Oh, I think you'll be surprised, and I think you're gonna like who's gonna run." It's gonna be like, really? Be hilarious. Hunter Biden. Chels Hooper here says, for $20 says, and there we go. That's why she did this interview. So her cult can say she's like Charlie, trying to heal things with the left. This is gross. And they won't see how gross it is. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It is very disgusting. This is a very, very weird interview. This is, ooh, man. I mean, we'll be looking at the comments after this.
we
Thank you
maybe have a
so much,
discussion
Shells.
about it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's a caricature.
Yeah.
And I have a caricature of me that's been built up for years, so I should have been more empathetic to it, honestly, but it's when you're in it, you kinda don't really know that you're in it, I think.
Well, not only in it, is that you're in it to win it.
Hunter
And once
AOC
everything is put in a
2026.
political lens and life or death,
Oh,
and,
man.
you know, if we lose this election, this is over, and now I will tell you this, is that, we've never had somebody that is, you know, uh, you know, opposed staying longer than they're supposed to. But regardless, is that I
Oh,
think
yeah, Hunter Biden did
that
have
we
that on
all
his
have a
laptop.
tendency to, look at the time that we live in and say that it's worse than ever,
Mhm.
absolutely the worst. And the fact of the matter is if if you know your history, is that, like, this is a cycle. Um, uh, there will always be really bad people. We will always be disappointed in the end with leadership. We will always have corruption. It doesn't mean that we need to accept it. It doesn't mean that we don't need to fight against it. It doesn't mean that sometimes really good people make the wrong choice. Um, uh, but what it does mean is that I have absolute hope. I really, truly still believe in America, even with all of the incons- the all of its faults. I mean, even after reading The Devil's Chessboard, you read that and you go like,
What is
and
this?
that's
Wow.
not about Democrats and that's
No.
not about Republicans. And if you go back and you go back to Reconstruct,
Yeah, I imagine Bronson's gonna have fun with this one for sure. I can't wait to see everybody's reaction to this. Everybody needs to react to this. I hope I see like not only just Gary from Paramount Tactical or Jay Witt or oh man, Edie could do a good parody on this one. This could be funny. I think she could get creative with this, but also Lady Luck. But outside of them reacting to this, how funny is it going to be whenever Asmongold and other people like that also react to this? Like, this is so not just like Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. This is actually going to ignite the entire internet on fire. I have a feeling. Because there's going to be so many people like Nux Taku or Nux Nor, whichever channel it is. People like that are going to blow this up tomorrow. It's going to be massive. And it's going to be a doozy, that's for sure.
you go back to Andrew Johnson, and you go back to like the fact that the United States of America has not been truly the United States of America until 1964 at best, and this whole thing. But I still really believe in the illusion, and the thing that makes me so mad is they have completely torn away that illusion,
Where's
and
Tim
people
Pool
feel
lately?
hopeless. They feel like there's no
Wait,
chance to change it. Okay, they gave this guy the reins to do
Has he
it.
not been
And
uploading?
he was the one who was going to blow everything up and make it better for everybody. And they're kind of like, wait a second. What happened to Charlie? Wait a second. Why are we at war
3
again?
days ago.
Yeah. I think this is actually the most important question, and I will make this my final question I want to ask you, but I'm really interested about your faith life. You're Catholic, you're raised Catholic, you went to Catholic school, and you're talking to me about the Gnostic
Okay,
Gospels.
let's you and I go see the Pope together.
I would love to do that.
Seriously.
I think he's a little mad at America right now.
No, but you and I.
he's-
Is he giving away some secrets here? You and I could go, huh? You guys gonna go meet in Rome next?
I was tweeted the same day as the Pope, by the way, by Trump when he said bad things about me.
For real,
so
let's go to the Vatican.
I would love to. I would
This
love
is the
to.
coolest place in the world. I love.
I just got back from Italy. I
Yeah.
was there 2
were
weeks
you?
ago. Yeah, I
Okay.
did my confirmation.
Well, oh, you did.
I did. It was just the most beautiful,
Oh, that's so cool.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was literally the same day that Trump posted the Time most vile person of the year. So
Yeah.
I felt like there was, even in that, there was something divine, because it was like looking at fake power and then the real power of like having, a cardinal getting confirmed, being in Italy, the deep history,
Oh, he's
like
live
what
right now.
outlasts that. Like there was something so fickle about it. Like posting this photo of me when I was sick. Okay, great.
He streams every night on-
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
He's fine.
Talk about humiliating people for sport.
Somebody literally sent this to me right
Tim's
before I
live
came
now.
into you. They knew that I was going to talk to you. And I promise you I did not plan to do this.
No, you're so
Well, I'm thinking he's out and her, so I don't know. This is kind of interesting, right? I wonder if he's gonna ask her out on a date.
fine.
It was a prayer. If you are wise and understand God's ways, prove it by living an honorable life. Do good works with the humility that comes from wisdom. But if you are bitterly jealous,
Yeah, no DNA test needed. That's definitely Biden's son. That's an amazing comment there, Amanda. That is so funny. Thank you. And thank you for that 5. I rule for the 5 as well. Artie, thank you for this. Only way it's tolerable is with you and friends here. Thank you so much. The only way this is tolerable is also with you guys here, because I do not have this much fun watching Candace Owens alone. I get really annoyed really quickly. But man, with you all here bouncing jokes off, it's so fun. It's so much more fun. I just have so much of a better time. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you again, Irule, and thank you again, Amanda. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys.
And there is selfish ambition in your heart. Don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and evil of every kind. The whole first piece of that, when you were just talking, is what's my faith? If you are wise and understand God's ways, prove it by living an honorable
Okay.
life. And the thing that I recognized is that quote from Mother Teresa, I don't go to Mass as much as I used to. Grew up going to Mass every Sunday. I never would miss a Mass. You know, I went to Georgetown. I was Catholic. But what I realized is that my real faith is in that belief, is that just do the next right thing. That's it. Whether it's the golden rule. And that
Just do the next right thing. I'm a superhero. Like, I mean, really, dude? Just don't break an arm, man. You're so cool.
doesn't mean you have to be
Don't
weak in
break
your
an arm,
empathy,
though.
but always be compassionate. I believe in the perennial philosophy. I believe that same exact message from the Upanishads to the Gospels of Jesus Christ are all at base in terms of the red letter words of each of them are saying the same thing. Love your neighbor like
Isn't that the
you
AA
would
rule?
want to be loved.
That would be funny.
And it's the hardest thing in the world to do. So hard. But
So hard.
that's my faith. And I think that
Okay.
there are certain people that arrive at certain times that are messengers of that. And like for instance, I certainly don't agree with the Catholic Church on a lot of stuff. I certainly have a but I tell you what, I really am so proud of Pope Francis and now Pope Leo.
Oh, well, that's why he doesn't like the Catholic Church. So he's proud of the guys like being progressive and changing it. Gotcha.
In terms of just the notion of social justice. And I think that there can be a practical application of that in terms of our leadership. I really do. I think that that faith that is used as a cudgel is really, really dangerous. I think that
I
I
don't
know a
blame you,
lot of
Ashley.
people
But thank you for
that I
being here.
personally love and very close to that are part of an evangelical church, particularly in the African American community, but that are horrified by the complicity of a certain section of the evangelical church and what's happening in the world today.
Oh, like the little
So,
left
to me, my
section of it,
faith is
or
very personal, rooted
the
in
upper right
in
corner?
uh,
What are we talking about here?
it's rooted in Catholicism, uh, and it's rooted in the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit Church in particular, which they used to always call the Black Pope until we finally got a Jesuit Pope. But and with the eyes wide
Okay.
open too, that the church is as an institution is incredibly flawed and had been, but it it's given me an enormous sense of community and belonging, just from a cultural perspective.
Well, what I'm gonna say is I really think you should go to confession.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Oh, I don't worry, I've been to confession.
Yeah, you should go to
Oh, yeah.
confession, get,
Don't no, 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 yeah.
and
Did you just take a shot?
yeah,
Wow.
and
yeah,
just, just
100%. Yeah, don't worry.
go back to the root.
I've
Go back
been
to
there.
the root, and,
And here's the other
there's so
thing.
much there, and it's like you're not, you're just not enough, your brain's not enough. I mean, hearing you describe that, "I can do this," there's just something about, for me, like, the submission that
Yeah,
just
the
every
crack
at
rock,
mass and
exactly.
just remembering, like,
The beautiful thing.
yeah,
The
I'm
beautiful
not
thing is
enough.
this.
Don't worry, Ashley. We're almost
The
done.
beautiful thing is that I have been going to confession for 6 years.
Wow.
We got 2 minutes.
Right here. That's me. I like that freedom You know what you feel like the only person that you could say this to? You know, and I'm not saying that there is not, like my impure thoughts that I'm you know, that's between me and God, but I am saying is that that feeling of release that the confessional
Okay?
is there for
You can't say things like that and not expect me to make a Catholic priest joke. Just putting it out there, okay?
is the feeling that when I was finally able to see beyond all of the noise that I received by just existing
Mhm.
and getting up every day and looking, turning over and seeing that my wife who saved me and Bowie and my dad as a dad, not as president, but just as a dad,
Yeah, it's
and my
typically
mom
what
and
dads
my
are,
sister and my aunts
right?
and uncles and everybody else, and then the wider circle, my friend George, my friend Franny, I mean, my friend Bobby. I like people that had came into my life and never left, and despite it all, when there was nothing in it for them but just grief and ridicule.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's
Ladies
this
and
entire
gentlemen,
show.
Hunter Biden, never thought this conversation would happen, and it just stranger things have happened, and I'm just
I don't understand why this conversation had happened at all. I don't get it. Like, you didn't talk about anything. You just glazed this dude for 2 hours, I think.
this
I'll
has
look at the
truly
time.
been one of the most
This
powerful
is
discussions that
crazy.
we've
We're
ever
gonna
had,
stick around, guys. We're gonna be looking at the comments underneath this video.
and I think it's because of your journey. You know, you've lived through a lot. You lost your mother, your sister in a tragic accident. You lost your brother to cancer. Maybe for a while lost your dad
Well, your dad ended up saying that, or his dad ended up saying that, Bo died in action, but okay.
to politics, the political machine. Lost yourself to crack cocaine.
Yeah, why didn't you
Um,
ask him about, like, his dad's health or anything like that and what the walking zombie was in the White House?
and somehow,
And I gained everything.
yeah, gained it all back.
Yeah, I really did. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you would invite me here into your home to be able to have this discussion. Um, and I, I really, really mean it. I'm really, really honored.
And
Thank you.
I'm grateful that you took it and that you've accepted my apology because I just feel really shitty about it. But
Thanks.
guilt is good, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
All
joining us.
right. Here it is.
Amazing.
Thought they might kiss at the end. They did not. All right. You guys ready? I'm gonna refresh this. Is Jay's you say
Hunter
Jay's on right now? Is Gary on right now too? I have to send these guys their way, you know? Let's see. So we got just a few comments here that I definitely wanna read out. Best remark from Hunter. If anything ever happened to me, I want you as a friend. Ooh. Really now. Former addict, he is hitting the nail on the head with addiction. Lord, thank you for deliverance. Respect to Candace for not bringing his father into this. Not a Daily Wire move at all. That's a choice. What do you mean? Why not bring his father into this? That was a big deal for American history in general. It's so bad. Let's see. Like, as an addict in recovery 2+ years, this is one of the best interviews ever. Insanely powerful and impactful. This is scary. This is weird. Hunter showed more emotion in an hour and a half talking about crack than Erica has in 8 months. Truly a masterpiece of an interview. Well done. I didn't see any emotion from the guy. That's crazy. Don't ever force you to look at that again. Yeah. Oh, man. I may have to do a video on it tomorrow, though, guys. I might need your help for that one. Oh, man. It'll be the last time tomorrow. I hope so. Anyway. Hopefully he doesn't start doing a press tour with, like, Tucker Carlson and a few other people, which if he does, we know Candace is lying about, like, oh, I just always wanted to get Hunter Biden on, of all people. It'll be obvious that there was a tour going on. This is crazy. Why does this interview warm my heart? Is there actually hope? The only difference between Hunter and Washington politicians. Hunter recorded himself doing what they all do. I mean, it's crazy. Um, man, he is more human than the media made him seem. Wow. I appreciate the honesty. I sense he is genuine telling his story. Can just sense it, huh? This is crazy. If Candace Owens and Hunter Biden can sit down, talk for 3 hours, and agree on everything, then was this 3 hours? Was this a 3-hour video? No. That person's stupid. It was 1 hour and 49 minutes. It's like barely half. Okay. Ooh, look at that super thanks. Holy crap. $100 super thanks. You don't even get anything for that. Except Candace didn't even acknowledge this. She acknowledged other comments. Huh. Wow. I am super impressed between both Candace and Hunter. This is the way of Christ. Sincerely moved and motivated. Like, this is just... Man. None of these people here are being critical at all. None of them. Victor Marks is going to be so jealous that Hunter got a genuine, love-filled apology. Candace has a good heart. Literally made me choke up. Are you guys shocked about this? Crack the internet. Candace, you are a comedian. Okay. Let's see. 20 years, June 28th, The Key, brutal honesty and forgiveness. This is crazy. Is there a single negative comment at all? Like, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay, 30 minutes in. Hunter seemed like he's being entirely truthful. I pray he continues to stay clean and sober. This is wild. Man. We do trust you, Candace, and are with you 100%. Oh, man. I would never say I trust anyone like that. Like, I would just give me evidence. You know what I mean? Give me evidence. I hold everyone to the same standard. God, the apple really doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? He even sounds like his pop. How many people, corn pop? Yep, he mumbles. Sounds like his brain is probably a bit fried. Hope he stays clean. I'm not kidding. No joking. He's full of S. That's the only one that didn't get any attention whatsoever. Like, the only one. Crazy. See if y'all can find that Easter egg. Poster guy for mercy, huge recovery, God for him to preserve, never give up. Nobody is critical of this at all. That's wild. I can go down really far. This is really, really far down. Okay. This interview was so refreshing and incredibly valuable. Thank you both. Incredible. Two brave, humble humans. These got to be bots, right? It's got to be bots, right? Like, I'm so confused. Post, maybe? Just hype this awesome creator's this only post 2 weeks ago? That's his only time he's ever hyped? This has to be a bot. Let's see this video. Brother from what is this? Charlie Kirk is alive? Yes, Charlie Kirk is alive. Decay. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. That's got to be a bot. I don't know, guys. What happened? Uh-oh. There we go. Froze up on me.
Hunter Biden.
Let's see how X is doing right now. This is gonna be nuts. Chart shows America. Kyle Busch is definitely number one right here on this. That's a bummer that he passed away. I can't believe it. That's wild. Chels Hooper for the 10 says, Artie, I've noticed most on X, most of her cult members are. I am reading this badly. Artie, I've noticed on X, most of her cult members that attack are not American. I've been saying she don't have as much influence as she thinks, and I'm thinking it's true when you check their profiles. I think so, yeah. I think you're onto something with that. We're definitely gonna take a look here. Thank you so much for that 10, by the way. You guys are incredibly nice to me. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Hell hath frozen over. Listening to Candace interviewing Hunter Biden, and I have sympathy for this man. Let's not do the contempt prior to investigation. Take a listen. Okay. From Relentless Bunny. Who's this? Maybe. Let's see. Is this even like... I can't believe it's not even trending. Mario Nawful? Mario Nawful? Let's you and I go see the Pope together. Candace would love to, but he's a little mad at America right now. No, but you and I could. Seriously, let's go to the Vatican. I would love to. When Hunter Biden and Candace Owens are casually offering to do citizen diplomacy with the Vatican, you know U.S. Holy See relations are frosty right now. He's just siding with her on it. This is really wild. Hunter Biden on Candace Owens. The first time I smoked, I basically asked her to help me. This is one of the most raw. Look at this guy just completely and totally go all in on Candace. Project Constitution. What a crazy name to have, right? What a crazy name to go by on X. Project Constitution. The first time I smoked crack. Fantastic name, bud. Just great. It's just pure comedy. Admits the laptop was real and calls the Russia propaganda story straight up gaslighting. That is not what he did. He straight up said that they got materials and stuff from Ukraine and put pictures on the laptop. He fully denied all of those images on the laptop. What are you talking about? Man, this is wild. This is wild stuff. Let's see if, let's go to trending. Let's see. Oh, she's not even trending right now. News? Somalis. Hunter Biden's right here. Okay. So it's just Hunter Biden, not even Candace. Imagine President Biden had said he had known Hunter Biden, his own son, for a long time. The media has treated this MAGA ghoul like he is so special. Normalize this old fool is not normal. What? I don't know what this dude's even talking about. Joe? Okay. Oh, okay. He's a super... Oh, Dark Brandon. I see. I didn't even really read his name. Silly me. Let's see. Is there any... When did Mario Nawful start just absolutely cucking over to Candace? That's crazy. I had no idea. Well, I mean, I kind of had an idea, but I didn't know it was that bad to where he's doing it every time. Every president before him was pressured by the Israelis to get into a war with Iran. Okay. Biden did plenty of stuff in the Middle East. What are you talking about? Like, it's a bit of a weird take, but all right. I guess he wasn't there during the Obama years at all. Biden was just doing other things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. Charlie Kirk knew Hunter Biden was a POS, including his family. He said it best. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder how, yeah, it's completely different. Here's Hunter Biden's lawyer, Kevin Morris, pictured smoking a, bong on the balcony of his Los Angeles home while Hunter Biden was in the house. You are the company you keep, and Hunter enjoys the company of, and corrupt foreign oligarchs and long-sucking lawyers. Boy, Candace is going to have a hard time when all this stuff is being thrown up in her face. It's a good idea to use Charlie Kirk's tweets and stuff there. You know, I don't think Charlie Kirk would have changed his mind. In my opinion, I don't think he would have changed his mind. Man, it's crazy. But tell me about it. What Biden did Easter Sunday makes me sick to myself. Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I do have to hop off here for now. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be on here again tomorrow night, and we're going to be having a good time. And, yeah, yeah, I'll probably see you then. I'm going to do some videos tomorrow over all this. I'm going to be pulling up some old Charlie Kirk Hunter Biden tweets because that'll be great. You know, I'd love to look back on what Charlie Kirk has said and have a good laugh. That's for sure. Thank you all so much for being here. And let me read off everybody who donated. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. I hope I have voice tomorrow. Pat the Plumber for $20. Mama Owlbear for $20. Claire for $2. Urban Infidel for $5. Marissa Justice for $10. Mr. B for $10. Mama Owlbear for $2. Miss Manners for $20. Wombat Mommy for $5. Jay Witt, the man himself, $5. Man, everybody, I'll direct y'all to Jay Witt's podcast after this. That's what we'll do here. Diana Cooper for $2. Chels Hooper for $20. Amanda Haid, I believe is how you say that last name. Amanda Haid, for $5. I Rule for $5. And Chels Hooper for $10. Let's go over to Jay Witt. Let's run on over there, huh? That'll be a good time. Let's Jay Witt. Is he still live? Oh, he's premiering. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, when did he stop going live? Streamed a day ago. Oh, okay. What about where is Lady Luck? Oh, right. I have to type in Candace Owens because there's a big channel named Lady Luck. I forgot about that. It's like some gambling channel, I guess. It's interesting. Ah, here we go. How do you have 2 live streams going at once? I don't understand this. What? Wait a minute. What is going on? I am very confused by these, which stream? I guess this one?
Who's barbecuing for Memorial Day? Hey, anybody
Interesting.
grilling out? Enjoy it. Enjoy.
Alrighty. Y'all should run over to Lady Luck's. Let me get rid of this pin message here.
Hope all is well. Everybody speak to everybody. Shout out to my mods.
This link right here will take you to Lady Luck's channel.
Everybody tuning in. Shout out
there
to
we
you
go.
all. Oh, including
Go give her a watch.
even though they don't deserve it.
She's awesome.
Let's get some music on. Once again,
and go
thank
subscribe
you all
to her
so
as well.
much for hanging in there with me. I know I have to push this back.
Thank you all so much for being
But
here. You guys are
regular,
amazing. Absolutely
9-5.
amazing. Oh, Rachel
So
Wellington for the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak him in here last second.
Y'all doing well. I see Juju up
Thank
in here.
you.
Francisca up in here.
We'll see y'all later.
Shout out to I have the
gotta
best
refresh
mouse on
that. I
YouTube.
forgot I can't close the stream.
Never
out
let anybody
without
tell
this.
you anything any differently.
Go tell her I said hi.
How you doing?
We'll see y'all here in the
Jackie?
next one.
What's going on? Let's
Later.
see. What